The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan, you have died. Light.
Shall we play a game?
You've got several things to do. You've got work, kids in school. What do you do when it's all over?
How do you hand something from one player to another?
Dark soul light. Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the new clan.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan, the video game podcast where we review all Soulsborne and Soulsborne clones. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
Caleb Craig.
And Cameron.
And today we have guests.
And Zach.
Zach on, yeah.
Hooray.
And that was Light as in L-I-T-E, the light version, correct?
Yes, yeah. It's a, it's a very Dark Souls-like game, but
It definitely has a lot of influences from Sekiro.
I would recommend it to you, Cameron, but I would also say don't expect Sekiro because no game is Sekiro.
Did you not
Except
play Fallen
Sekiro.
Order?
I would not
No?
recommend it.
Oh, you can borrow it.
It's. I think you'd like it.
No, they've been...
You just shattered your glasses.
No, so... I sat on them once, and so they were all bent, so I'm trying to slowly bend it back, but it keeps coming off the frame.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like broken. I can still, put it back, but yeah.
It's just
Can
kind
you?
of broken.
It's just mostly broken.
So yeah, that's what we're going to be reviewing today. Me, Caleb, and Zach all played it all the way through, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I finished it like 2 days ago and ready to roll. Ready to talk about this game. But before we get into any of that good shit, what have you guys been playing this week, Craig?
All right, so this week I played some Rocket League.
Rockets.
Yeah, and
Red Rocket.
Dead by Daylight, and some Call of Duty with Cam and the guys. And then I played some Kakarot.
Kakarot.
Yeah, and Blasphemous, which is basically like if Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Dark Souls had a baby that decided it wanted to be a hack and slash.
Isn't that just... Shit, there's another one on the Switch that's just like that, too.
It's on the Switch, as
Oh.
well as being on PS4 and Xbox.
Did you play it on the Switch?
Dead Cells, I think, is the
Dead
one you're
Cells,
thinking
yeah,
of.
that's exactly what that game is.
Yeah, I think Dead Cells is an RPG, but this one's definitely not. It's a hack and slash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's very inspired by both Castlevania and Dark Souls.
They're two very good games and series.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a pretty sweet game so far. I'm liking it a lot. It's also super hard.
Yeah. All right. Is that it for you?
Uh,
Not that that's not enough. Or
yes,
anything,
that's everything.
but- All right, Cameron. What about you? What have you been doing?
Yeah, this past week, did a little COD with the boys. Played Dead by Daylight, which was fun getting back into. Noticed that playing online, even if you have a full, survivor party, the queue times to get in games are incredibly long. Unless you play the killer. Unless you go in and play all by yourself. This is the PlayStation 4, by the way. The queue times for the killer is just so fucking fast. You can get into games, usually within 30 seconds.
So it's a party game then. Everyone treats it as a
Everyone
party
wants
game.
to be the survivors, which is strange to me because I always thought the killers would be super popular. But it's only something you do if you're bored and don't have friends to play with.
right. 'Cause
But
I'm
yeah.
assuming you're playing as a team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And you can't be the killer with friends in your party. So, unless you play custom games, which are fun. And so, Branny, when all of us want to play together,
Yeah.
then we're going to be fucking playing custom games because that's just more fun. And then,
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's just as fun.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
if not more fun.
and then I played quite a bit of Dark Souls 2 this past week as well.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice getting back into that.
Yes.
Did you start it
must
over
finish.
again?
No.
Okay.
I've come too far.
Okay. What about you, Zach? What have you been up to this last week?
I played Pokemon Sword. Did all the end game stuff for that. Dead by Daylight and COD as well. Gotta play with the boys. Kakarot. I bought Kakarot this week like an idiot. It's great. I just didn't want to. I shouldn't have spent the money. And then Fire Emblem Three Houses. I started. Got back into that.
Nice.
It's a great
Craig's
game.
been praising that.
It's been really fun.
I have it if one of you guys wants to borrow it. Although Cam's sending his Switch to
Yeah,
Joe, so I guess it's
tomorrow or
purely
not.
Schweiss.
Yeah, nothing's open tomorrow, so it'll
I
be
have
Monday.
both Astral Chain and Fire Emblem Three Houses, which came out last year, and I know you wanted to play all those games.
Yeah, Astro Train I was interested in.
Plus, they're both Switch exclusives.
Wasn't
which
that
we
beaten
haven't
by-
had in a while?
Wasn't that beaten by Sekiro? I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't stop the
It was,
Sekiro
it was
train.
fairly close though for those two.
Yeah. Okay, so this week I played Star Wars. It's not really Star Wars. It's just Jedi Fallen Order.
Well, I mean,
No, I think
is
it's
called
Star Wars
Yeah,
Jedi
it's Star
Fallen
Wars
Order.
Jedi Fallen
I hate
Order.
that. God, it's like it's almost.
It
as
has
bad.
like 4 titles. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I played that. I did get back into Resident Evil Outbreak. There's this weird thing that's going on in my mind where I have all these games, like Conan Exiles is the same way. Like I want to get back into it. I'm like, I kind of want to play it again, you know? And I don't know. So Resident Evil Outbreak and Conan Exiles are like the same thing to me. They're games that aren't really that great, but there's a really big pull. And I don't want to look at a guide to figure out how to do anything in either of the games. So I have the guide to Resident Evil Outbreak. Like I own it. I bought it years ago. Don't look at it.
I mean, they're not even close to being the same kind
I know,
of game.
they're so different. They're just like, there's something about these two games that I just love endlessly. But I'm going through Resident Evil Outbreak's final mission on hard, which I've never beaten before. I got all the other 4 scenarios completed on hard difficulty. Later last year, I finally did the 4th one. And I think I can unlock very hard when I beat all of them on hard. And so I'm kind of making my own walkthrough. I'm like going in, and because on hard, every time you play a different difficulty, the scenario changes a little bit. Like you'll go outside and you'll find
Do you have to like get new stuff or something?
No, stuff is just in different places, and you have to go different paths. So like normally when I play it on easy and normal on the last level, when I get out into the like open area in front of the university, because it's set in Raccoon University, I can find a key card on a dead guy's body, and I can get back into the building and go get back to where I'm like mixing ingredients together to create the cure for the outbreak virus, right? But in the hard difficulty, I go there and the keycard's nowhere to be found. And so I have to go all the way around and go like up through the sewers and then come up into the top floor and put all the ingredients together. And like I'm trying to map out exactly how to do that, like when to drop X item and then pick up the, you know, the part of the serum that I have to make and stuff like that. So I'm kind of writing my own speed walkthrough. And I did that for one of the other levels last year, and I ended up beating the level in like, it was like 12 minutes. It was like ridiculously fast because like this, it's like every time it's either the items here or one of my NPCs picks it up and I have to pull it off of their dead body because they die on hard. Everyone gets fucked on hard except for me. And so like I had it all mapped out, and I'm trying to do that with the last level, and like I just don't have enough time though. Like I'm super strapped for time lately, and so I was only able to do that a little bit yesterday. But I'm about halfway to 3/4 of the way mapped out for the last level. And I'll finally unlock very hard and see how fucked up that is. Because the damage, everything increases, and then the items are like randomly placed throughout the level, so I have to re-figure out how to play it. But there's something about those games. And then, okay, so I forgot to mention this like 3 weeks in a row. I had a dream about Conan Exiles, and this is the weirdest thing ever.
Before you say that, we were talking about Australia last night, and I came to the conclusion that Australia is just the exiled lands.
Oh, yeah?
Because I mean, it was a prison colony, so I mean, pretty much, yeah.
And I already got your tickets. You're going to go.
Yeah, you're
Free
going to
vacation
real
to the
life
exiled
Conan
lands.
Exiles.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
the wheel's ready for you, man. Get on that fucking plane.
It's even burning to the ground, yeah. So I had a dream about Conan Exiles. I got to tell you guys about this. So it was the dumbest little dream I've ever had. I was sitting there playing the game. I was mining some rocks, and then I hear some other like little chunk sounds from someone mining behind me, and I turn around and I walk up to this person, and I expected to be one of the listeners that's played with us a couple times, but it was someone completely new. I had no idea who it was, and then I woke up. How fucking stupid is that? It's like a Conan Exiles dream, and it didn't mean anything. It was just, oh man, there's other people on the server. How cool. And then I woke up for the day, and I was like, God, that was so...
So his treasured
bad.
place, his safe place, the exiled lands have been invaded by unknown sources.
Yeah, we have to
Oh,
deep dive.
man.
We have to evaluate the dream.
I
Well,
think
Sigmund
this
Freud would
clearly
say that it
states-
means you want to fuck your mom.
Probably.
That or he's gay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Either
it's one
one.
of those two things.
Let's look at the Carl Jung interpretation, though. I
Wait,
don't want to be gay or
the
fuck
character
my mom.
was the character a female or male?
I think it was a dude.
All right, he's gay.
He's gay.
Okay. Thank you, Freud. So I played that. I played Outbreak. I played Star Wars. I played Call of Duty. I played a few free-for-all rounds. I've really liked free-for-all on this new COD. That's what I used to always play, like back in the day, way before
It
we all
just
had to
if
plan.
you're in a party with friends though, you can't play free for all with them.
Yeah. But I was by myself. No one was on.
And that's the one thing though I really liked about free for all and COD was playing with your friends. But
Yeah.
they won't let you do it online. You have to do a custom game.
I mean, it makes sense, but it's also super dumb because
Yep.
you're not going to just farm each other. Even if you did, it's not like that's viable
Right.
because
What
other
are you
people are
gonna
trying to
get?
kill you.
It's not like it's a competitive or ranked mode. Just fuck
Yeah,
off. Let us play
there's
the
no
fucking
ranked
game. Yeah.
Yeah,
free-for-all.
and
You
It's
heard
not-
it here first. Fuck off, COD.
It's also not like it's Modern Warfare 2 where people could just farm each other for the tactical nuke.
Yeah. You can't do that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, fuck it. But it's a fun game.
Yeah.
So that's it for me for my games played and or dreamed about this week. The real question, though, guys, is anyone beating a game this week?
I beat
Craigie.
Kakarot.
Oh, you actually beat it, huh?
I did,
nice.
yeah. I'm pretty close to the plat, actually. I think I only have like 5 trophies left, and they're all like pretty easy ones.
Kakarot. All right.
No, I did not.
Zach, what about you?
I beat Pokemon Sword.
Nice.
Spelled with a K, Schweiss.
No, it's Kakarot.
Yeah.
It's
Kakarot.
Kakarot. All right, so I beat Star Wars Fallen Order Jedi lightsabers guy from that TV show that I don't like.
I know him from Gotham. He played the Joker or Young Joker. Yeah, question
See,
mark.
Dude,
quotations.
all of those shows on that channel really bother me. You know what I mean? They're all like angsty bullshit. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like sexuality fluid type of TV shows. I really
Yep.
hate them. Like it's just,
That's all this the CW
That-
type stuff. That
yeah.
I'm
That's
just like,
weird coming from Fox TV.
Yeah, it's like how sexually confused can you be on a network that's very unconfused about their sexual orientation? It's like,
Or
God.
the most confused.
did he play the Joker
Yeah.
though? Really?
Yeah.
He plays Jerome.
the most confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's pretty decent, I guess, but I know him from the one show with William H. Macy. I can't remember what it's called though. They're like the most dysfunctional family of all time.
I think I know what you're talking about, but
Alex-
I don't remember that
Alex watches
TV
that
show's
show.
name either.
I don't like it, but it's not on the same level as like my hate towards like Dear White People or anything like that on Netflix.
Oh
But-
yeah, that show is just awful.
but I didn't like the show. It's Shameless. That's
that-
what it's called. Shameless.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Dear White People is just fucking. It's racist television.
Yeah. It's terrible. But like it's not that bad.
Coming
but
from
I
the white people.
yeah, no,
Dude, if you've ever seen
never
it,
seen
you'd understand.
No, because half of me would probably enjoy it.
I said something the
I
other
don't-
day that I
I
shouldn't
don't know.
repeat, but I'm going to. I was like, you know what? It's not because I'm white. It's because they're black. That might have been the most racist thing I've ever said.
You said it twice.
But yeah, I've said it twice now. And no, really though. It's just like
Now it's a pattern.
It's such a yeah. It's such a ridiculous show, and Shameless, I kind of felt the same way about it. I was like, man, it's like I'm just watching people make the worst decisions they could possibly make over and over and over again. But the one guy that's dating the one of the chicks is hilarious. He's like a ripped guy that thought he was gay for a little while, and he like tried to get with a gay guy because he had convinced himself that he might be a little gay, and then he didn't have like a boner at all when they were making out. And it was super funny because he was like, I'm not actually gay. It was like this huge thing that he went into, and he was like trying to like pick up on other men, and he's like, wait, was that a signal? And like he'd go back and he's like, wait, you signaling me, bro? He was like trying to embrace the potential homosexuality within himself, and then he wasn't gay at all. He found out. It was super funny, but other than that show, that's the only place I know this kid from that plays this guy in the game. That I was like, God, the show is just people making the worst decision possible all the time. And William H. Macy is a terrible human being in the show. That's all I know him from. So, but that's what we're going to review today.
Are you getting any mixed signals from dudes twice?
No, I don't think so.
In Conan Exiles.
In Conan Exiles, apparently, yeah. The Freudian interpretation of my dream says otherwise.
Was that a signal, bro?
Yeah, was that a
Signaling
signal?
me?
I better go back and, like... I don't know if you guys are able to... Are you guys ever able to resume your dreams and, like, go back in?
No.
Only if I go back to sleep, like, immediately has it ever happened, but
Is that a
it
signal,
doesn't
bro?
go the way that I thought it would.
And it cuts to one of the fucking dudes in Conan Excel blowing that giant horn.
Is that a signal?
You signaling me, bro?
You DTF? No, but... So you guys have never lucid dreamed then? You guys have
No,
never...
so as I'm falling asleep, I can, kind of have a dream go the way I want it to as I'm falling asleep. But if I'm ever in deep sleep and I wake up and then I can't resume it going back to sleep.
Okay, I've done that. I've done it before. Only a few times where it's like Craig said, if I go back to sleep right away, I can go back in and I can kind of control what happens.
Hacking sounds, I'm in.
Yeah.
Hacker man.
And you can kind of control it sometimes, right? You can control the outcome of the dream. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But not everyone can do that. So yeah, maybe
For me, I'll notice and be able to start to change stuff when I think of something while I'm dreaming, right? Like, oh, it'd be kind of strange if this happened, and then that thing happens.
Yeah.
Then that's my cue.
That's
We're
lucid
good to go.
That's my prop to let me know I'm still in the dream.
Yeah.
The top that doesn't stop spinning,
The ones that are
There's a red bouncy ball just randomly.
There's ones that are really fun where like my alarm would go off and I was dreaming that I was like a scientist in a laboratory, and then like the emergency alarm was like wee, wee, and then everyone's like,
I find that as
253's
well.
escaped.
and then everyone's like bustling to get out, and I was like, wait a minute, that's my real alarm. And then I wake up and I'm like, man, that was fucking weird.
I had this
hate that sound.
fucking comment I did the other day, or on Twitter or whatnot. That was kind of funny. I have to go look back and look at it. But sometimes when you're dreaming, everything seems like not weird when you wake up, but just different. Like you don't live that life. This is not my house. This is not my wife.
Yeah. It's weird. It's
like you got a glimpse into another alternate.
but it
version of
feels
you.
real when
Yeah.
you're there and you wake up and you're like,
And
man.
when you wake up, there wasn't any dream weirdness.
yeah.
See, my thing that it freaks me out though. Like when I dream, I'm always like, I won't dream the same, but like some of the locations will be the exact same,
Yeah.
and it's like the stuff that I know around here, but it's like a little bit different,
Right.
and that always weirds me out when I wake up, like a lot.
Yeah, it's weird. There's something to there's something.
Yeah,
to-
the shower thought. Let me see.
Can I?
Let me see if I can pull it up. God damn it! Why did I tweet so much?
You never tweet.
Yeah, you
what are you
never
talking
do.
about?
Digging through seven.
Scrolling through all these fucking
He's already
tweets.
back in like 2017. Right
Yeah,
now.
no shit.
No, just December.
Oop.
Anyways, but yeah.
There's some crazy stuff, and I've had like recurring ones for years and years on end. It's weird.
Yeah. I used to have a recurring dream as a kid about like some fucking Fisher Price like child oven thing that you could make your own little fucking desserts on as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's like a little safety oven that you will get something
The
just
Easy
hot
Bake
enough,
oven?
easy bake stuff. Yeah, I had a recurring dream about one of those.
Dude, Alex had one where yeah, there you go. Alex had one where it was like a man made of cans, like canned food chasing her. And I was like, dude, I wanted to make a podcast where we make like
Man.
plots for movies based on our fucked up dreams. It's like Can Man is coming to town. It's like his green beans for eyes, green peas for testes. Like Can
Dude,
Man's coming
no,
for you.
no.
Prepare to get canned.
It's just got to be a fucking canned man, but a canned man made entirely of like the corned beef.
Oh yeah, and then like
Yeah.
the only one that's different
And
is this,
Vienna
like,
sausages.
and it's tiny can. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tiny one unit of Vienna sausage crotch height. Can man's coming to town.
What is he a can of though?
He's just like made of cans, and I was like, dude, that is amazing. That sounds.
He's gotta have a villain that's like made of meat or beef. So just when they kill someone's beef.
Yeah.
The can man can when no one else can.
I was like, that is a really
The can
weird
man
dream.
can come.
I would love that though.
Yeah. So here's my shower thought.
Bless you.
Maybe pull up the whole thread. Sometimes I have dreams that seem so real. Everything's normal. No dream strangeness. Going on about normal stuff, but in a setting I've never been in with people I've never known before. In the dream, it's all normal, but when I wake up, I can only think about it. It makes me wonder if I caught a glimpse of another me. And then my favorite comment on it is there's probably a version of you that logs his hog, and I reply certainly, but that version of me is so too far removed I can't comprehend that reality.
Wasn't that Abraham that said that?
No, it's you. No, it's you who goes. There's probably a version of you that logs his hog, and I'm like, no,
Oh,
it's too
okay.
far away. Can't comprehend. And you just reply back,
conceive.
convenient.
Yeah, it's too far removed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into this Star Wars review. Let's dive in here. From the CW.
Wasn't always like this. But now, there are 3 rules to survive. Don't stand out. Accept the past. Trust.
This trailer kind of makes it seem like it's a more of a stealthy game.
Right, but some of the stuff that's already in there didn't happen in the game. And it's 2 of those scenes. And it definitely didn't happen.
Galaxy's changed. Whatever you do, don't reach within. Don't stand out. Accept the past.
Execute Order 66.
Trust no one.
Trust no one, not even yourself.
Except for their 2 random guys who saved you. You didn't trust them.
You didn't trust him in the beginning.
Trust
You trusted them real quick.
only in the Force.
Alright, he did like 4 seconds.
Star Wars Jedi. Fuck, maybe
Man, that trailer
Order
is
69.
trailer is way
That's how
cooler.
Rey was conceived.
Yeah.
Damn right it was.
She saved it in her mouth and then she inserted it to create Rey.
Gross.
That's what the Force did.
She laid upside
That's what the Force did.
I haven't seen the last movie, so I assume that, she's kind of like Anakin, where she just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Or not Anakin, Luke.
I mean, I'm not going to
Luke's just like there. So, Jedi Fallen Order, game by company that rolls with EA, released end of last year. Game I was interested in after I saw the trailer. That trailer is way cooler than the game is. Honestly, it makes it seem like it's way more dramatic.
Yeah, that's what I got. I got
It also
like,
implies there's more story than there is.
Yeah, I definitely got a CW / TV show commercial vibe.
Yeah, exactly. So the company is Respawn Entertainment, and
They're
of course,
the guys who made Titanfall,
Oh, okay.
which is why there's so much wall running.
That makes sense. So the game is set just after Star Wars Episode 3.
It's 5 years.
Yeah, so the Order 66 has been completed. All the Jedi are basically wiped out. And I was thinking about this, like, you know how upsetting the prequel trilogies really are? Because think about it. So, like, Joseph Campbell, one of his big things is all the archetypes, right? Like, everything is an archetype based on, like, all these thousands-year-old stories and things like that. And, like, George Lucas is one of his students. And that's why Star Wars is such a great story, is because it's, like, perfectly the hero's journey, right? It's the hero's journey straight up.
It's
And
also almost a cop. Like, at least the first movie is a Hidden Fortress by Akira Kurosawa, which is like
Same idea.
They're all samurai movies. It's
Yeah.
what they're supposed to be.
It's the hero's journey. The samurai's stories are actually very good representations of that. So he's a really big fan of Joseph Campbell, and one of the other archetypes is the tyrant, right? The evil king, which you can see in like Diablo to Diablo 2. What happens in Diablo 1, he is the savior, but then he becomes the tyrannical evil king in Diablo 2 because the force of evil is inside him because he tried to contain it and he became evil, right? And so that's what the prequels are, and it's so cool. It's like this is the Jedi becoming so powerful that they become rigid in their ideology and their beliefs, and they become the tyrannical king. And it's a cool like descent and destruction of that form, but the movies suck. Like, how lame is that? It's such a cool idea, but it doesn't fucking work at all. I've been thinking about this lately. I'm like, God, that is such a sweet concept, but fuck, is it terribly executed in those stupid fucking movies? Like,
it's because he focuses way too much on like Anakin as a kid that he doesn't like really explore much else.
and politics. It's so boring. Jesus.
Yeah, the politics thing.
And like the CG, fucking Christ. Like episode 2 looks like shit, man. It's like, oh, let's make it all in CG, and it's like, this looks like PS2 cutscene shit. Like, it's terrible. It's just, God, fuck. It's such a cool idea, but they fucked it up. And now they're fucking it up even harder with the fucking new movies. I haven't seen the newest one, but I really hated Last Jedi, so I was like...
I know Zach disagrees with you. That's why
I do. That's why I don't have an opinion. I love Star Wars, man. That's all of it, dude.
Really?
I love all Star Wars.
Dude, it's the most famous series that's
like-
half bad.
I feel like
I fucking
both
love it.
the
Objectively,
prequels
I
and the
love it.
sequels betray everything the originals were.
Well, the sequels betray everything that the previous movie was, too. They're like, oh, we're going to redo it. Like,
My
oh,
thing,
that's
like,
bullshit.
and I've told them before, is if I have fun in a movie, then like I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like if I have fun, then I'm not gonna like.
You even like
Do you know what I'm
Solo?
Solo was sick. Doing all the it was doing all like the fucking what is it called, like the underground shit. That's the thing I like about Star Wars though, is I love the underground gangster smuggler type shit. I love that. I love that we got to like see more of that.
That was what Rogue One was, though, already.
I love Rogue
That's
One.
what
Rogue
this
One was
game
underground,
is
though.
Rogue One.
Rogue One was still rooted in the rebellion.
I like Rogue One.
Me too. I love Rogue One too, but it was still more rooted in the rebellion than it was actual what's going on outside. Because like we get the Empire through 4, 5, and 6, and all the books after, and all the books in between.
Yeah.
we don't really branch out, and that's what like I was digging when I first saw those trailers. It's like, hey, it's more. There's a huge 19-year gap between 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's a
There's
big...
so much stuff, and they're
big.
coming out with comic books now too. But I mean, like, it's just sick.
Yeah,
in my
the
opinion,
Vader
as a
comics are
fan.
pretty
Bro.
fucking
Dude,
sweet.
The Vader comics were sweet, and like the same with Dr. Aphra too, if you've read those. But there's actually in this game, there's
I have the first issues of both series.
you should read them; they're good. Some
I
of the
did read
characters
those,
in
but
this,
Vader
so like
is
the
sweet.
Inquisitors, like there's I guess spoiler, like the Ninth Sister. If you look at her foot, it's like robotic. That's like she loses it in like the second issue of the second Vader series because Vader cuts it off because they're sparring, and he's like, you're weak, and he just like takes her leg, and he's like, fix her up, get her back, and it's just cool. They just kept going with it.
Yeah, they had to really. Craig was saying they had to really fight to make this game. Like it was something that they had to really.
Yeah, I
wouldn't
guess.
trust EA either.
Well,
I think it's Disney more than anything because they don't
so.
want their IP fucked with.
Yeah,
But I mean, like that too. But I would say like because
there was a lot
all the
of
flack for
stuff
Battlefront
for
2.
both for Disney and EA controlling a lot of things in there that made it really hard for them to make a game they wanted.
Yeah, I'm glad they did, though. I enjoy it. There are just some problems with it, I'll say straight up. Like, it is not Sekiro. Anyone that thinks this is a Sekiro game, they're wrong. Sekiro is perfection, and this is not that. It's fun though. It's good, and you get a little lightsaber. You get a little light toy. So it's
See, I
good.
think it'd be
You
sweet.
got a little light toy.
Yeah.
You got like the little like grappling hook though, like in Sekiro. It's like
Yeah.
swinging around. I'd have
That
dug the
would be pretty sweet.
I'd have dug the shit out of that.
So
So yeah, basically the plot. So the plot is essentially he gets found out that he's a Jedi hiding out, and so they go after him. He gets picked up by these two random people.
But he wasn't like a full Jedi yet, though, right?
He was
No,
he was a Padawan.
He was a
when Order
Padawan
66
when
happened.
yeah.
you know what's hilarious about this part though? Like A4 texted me. He messaged me, and he was like, "God, is the chick from he's like the black chick from." I can't remember. Oh, it was Call of Duty. He's like, is she the same chick from Wolfenstein? I'm like, yes, and she's also the same chick from fucking Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
She
It's
looks
like,
she looks like the chick from what's that Canadian TV show that we love? What is it?
Letterkenny.
Oh, you
She
guys
looks
watch
like the black
Letterkenny.
chick from
Oh my
Letterkenny.
god!
it's like a very skinny African American or black chick with like buggy eyes. It's like, okay, she's from Wolfenstein. She's from
it's
this
not
game,
just
and
buggy
she's from
eyes.
and
They're
she's from
fucking poking out of her head.
yeah, like she.
Me and Schweiss were joking that like she looks like one of those toys that if you squeeze, her eyes pop out. You
It's
know, one of those.
weird.
Like she looks exactly like that. She looks like if you gave her a like firm hug, she would lose her eyeballs.
Like her eyeballs would explode. Like they would
You
explode.
know,
in
there
all
are
of her...
people who can actually do that, push their eyes out. Like they have, like somehow they can flex their eyes out of their sockets.
Dude, yeah, it's weird
seen
looking.
that?
I'm like,
I saw the one where they did that surgery thing or whatever. They talked about it where she like back in the '90s. There's that rumor where they did that surgery on that singer chick and her eyes like shot out or whatever.
yeah. It's she has weird eyes, but yeah, you find a chick with weird eyes and a guy with forearms. But the chick with weird eyes is the one that distracts you. The forearm
This
man.
is her,
Oh Jesus
Cam.
Christ! Oh, what the fuck?
this is her.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the fucking like massive eyes.
Seer Junda.
Yeah.
Here you go, Craig. I showed them this.
That's terrifying, bro.
Yeah, that's her. That's what she's doing right now.
Yeah,
And she just does it constantly.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like it.
There's people who could just push their eyes out.
God!
They could flex their eyes out.
They look like they're gonna explode.
That's what they should have like the haunted forest. It's just like they're just doing it, and you're just like,
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
stop it.
Here you go, Schweiss. Another one for you, Schweiss.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's how it is, though. And so you meet the bug-eyed chick and the four-armed man.
The bug-eyed chick. Oh, Jesus, this one's worse.
I'm not. God damn, dude.
She got against World
Oh.
Book record.
No, that's a more accurate representation.
Seriously, though, it's like so weird. It's like in all these games,
Dude,
there
there's some fucking cutscenes
going
where I
on with
was
the
like,
eyes.
Oh, this one's worse. It's like his whole eyeball.
So anyway, the game starts out. You're playing as Cal Kestis, right?
Dude, he looks like the cop from.
Sorry, I had to show him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
he looks like Farva from Super Troopers.
I'm gonna have to
dude.
tweet this out just
Yeah.
so people know what I'm laughing at.
So you start out on this planet that's like basically you're basically just scrapping parts, and you're playing as Cal Kestis.
Yeah,
who's-
he's hiding out because he's a Padawan. They're hunting down all the Jedi.
yeah.
Then he has to use the Force to save his friend, and because he does that, then like the Inquisitors know that there was a Jedi there, so they they start hunting him down. He gets saved by two people, Sarah Junda and the like alien guy. I can't remember his
Grease, yeah.
name. Yeah.
You sound like you trusted him too fast, but I'm gonna be too. Like if I was getting chased by people and they were trying to bull the shit out of me, I would have taken the first help I got to. Like in
Yeah,
all
I mean,
honesty,
it's
I'd have been
true,
like,
but still.
"Fuck this."
Anyway, so yeah, he goes with them. She brings him to this like one planet where she's like, yeah, we're
Madonna.
trying to find this this holocron that's supposed to have these names of all these Force sensitive children, so we can train a new
New Legion of Jedi. right?
new age of Jedi.
But it's funny because right before that, you fight the final boss, just like you do in Sekiro. You fight
you
the-
fight the final boss.
Oh yeah, you fight Second
a
Sister.
bunch in
You
this
fight
game.
the-
You fight her like 4 times.
What's her name? The something sister.
the
second-
Ninth
it's
Sister.
no,
Ninth
Second
Sister.
Sister. Ninth
Second
Sister's
Sister.
a big chick.
Oh yeah, Second Sister,
She's
right?
Second Sister.
Second Sister, and she's just like the female version of Kylo Ren, basically. Really big noses, both of them. And you fight her, and she tries to take you out, and then you get saved by these buddies. So it's just like Sekiro. You fight the final guy in the beginning. It's so weird.
Except for you don't lose an arm. Like
You don't lose a
Yeah.
fucking arm, thank God. That's funny because Star Wars is famous for losing hands, but you don't. in this
Yeah,
one.
body parts
Yeah, but limbs being fucking
Being-
ripped off
being
by
burned in
Whoppers.
lava. You know,
Like,
all
yeah,
sorts of things.
Like think about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like he doesn't kill anybody. He just maims everyone. Like what a dick. He's a sadist.
yeah, he didn't even kill Grievous. He just
I know.
badly wounded him.
He just fucked him up, and then he died. He died of sickness. He's evil. He's an evil person.
That's actually one of my favorite action figures I have. Though. Is I have General Grievous with like fire coming out of his eyes. It's like battle damage, and I'm like fucking massacred. Are you kidding?
yeah, he got fucking
He's
wrecked.
like on fire. It's my favorite, dude. I love it.
That's all he does, though. He just dismembers people.
Yeah, by not just straight up murdering, he's arguably more evil.
It's very arguable. Yeah, he gets off on like, what if I took his legs and his arms off so he couldn't actually fight, but
What
he
if
couldn't
I,
die either?
What if I made his every living moment a misery?
Yeah. What if I did that?
Have you seen the Robot Chicken where Luke is like filling up his X-Wing at a gas station? And it's the Wampa with the one arm that he cuts off, and he's trying to fill up his thing, and he like drops his keys like underneath it, and he's like trying to reach it, and he can't because he doesn't have an arm. Fucking the best, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking about that a while ago about Obi-Wan. I'm like, man, this guy doesn't kill. He just hurts. And he did the same thing to Darth Maul. He just cut him in half.
Yeah,
He was still alive.
and then he lives.
He lives.
He lives because of his
He
hate.
lives.
You're like, okay.
He doesn't kill. He just fucks you up so bad that you don't want to
He's
exist
like, actually, I
anymore.
knew what I was doing.
He maims and cripples everyone he encounters.
And he gets drunk and he gets like drinking like every Star Wars too. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm getting a drink, asshole.
He's like a Jedi version of an IED. Like he just, I'm not trying to kill you. I'm just trying to blow your fucking legs off. Like,
I fucking also love. There's also a scene in one of the Star Wars. I can't remember what it is, but he like picks up he like tosses away a blaster. He's like so unsophisticated.
That's after he kills Grievous. That's when he shoots it at Grievous. He's like so uncivilized.
Yeah, it's like so. It's like you're not the best person to say what's civilized. You're a fucking monster.
yeah,
fucking monster.
exactly. Yeah.
Let me give you a hand.
You want to know why I use knives?
Dude, he might as well be like the Star Wars version of the Joker. He's a fucking evil being.
But he's
Yeah.
still my favorite character.
He
in Star
totally
Wars,
is
like,
the best
by far.
character. Yeah. For sure.
Oh man. But okay, so then after you escape them, so you go to get a holocron that's supposed to contain all the information of these Force sensitive children.
Yeah.
Psych, bitch,
And
it
then
doesn't.
basically the whole thing is like set up for gameplay where it's like, oh, you have to go into this temple in order to find it, but you have to go to all these other places to be able to get the key to open the vault.
And
to
it's
get
weird.
this
It's
thing.
like very Roz like from Bounty Hunter, where like you have someone that's talking to you, and you find their holocrons, you find their little messages throughout the game, and it's like it's very specific. Like they're talking to you. They're not just generalizing, like saying general things. It feels like they're talking directly at you.
Well, it's because like when you see the memories, you're hearing other people talk to the person that you're listening to the
See, and
memories
that's what
of.
I chalked it up to. Is like he left those holocrons and was like, yeah, because you're following my steps, and it was more of like, oh, I'm teaching you, and that's kind of how I.
It
saw
just reminded me of Roz and Bounty Hunter, where she's talking to you after she's dead about current events. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
How does she know that?
Yeah. She's like, Django, you're gonna have to jump over the big old splotch of fucking acidic juice in this area here. Django, it's gonna fuck you up a little bit. And then she starts reminiscing about the past, and I'm like, you're dead! Shut the fuck up! Like, just fuck off! That's how this game felt. It's like, oh, and then Carl, you must remember to do that. I'm like, don't talk to me in the first person. You're supposed to be generalizing. It seems like very similar. It's like Bout Light. It's weird. It's got a bunch of things that Bounty Hunter had too. It's fucking bizarro. It's like it's like an ode to the greatest worst game ever, you know. And with the platforming sometimes with the glitches, it's like,
God damn it, yeah.
what the fuck? But yeah. So you got this guy who's leading you along the path to kind of find these this list of Force sensitive Jedi.
or force sensitive children, so you could bring them into the Jedi Order to reestablish what was destroyed by Order
Yeah, so
66.
you can help fight the Sith and take back the Empire.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
take-
Republic.
It's about that. Sorry, it's kind of the story. What I kind of liked about that too, though, is it's like he saw like how these force like the people, the Zepho, he saw like they're
Yeah.
force sensitive, and he sees how they go up, and then there was the massacre, and then they died and they became extinct, and then he's like, hey, that's gonna happen again, and it's interesting because like in Star Wars, you do see that a lot, where it's like, hey, Old Republic, and they came back, and they died again,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they come back, and they die again.
It's just like it's very similar to like actual politics, like
Right.
the left and the right parties in the U.S. Like they have these big surgences and then they die again. It's like, and it's kind of the same idea with Star Wars. And one of the things that I like at the end that I also don't like. So you go through and you're finding this list, and you end up finding the full list.
Yeah.
And throughout this thing, you're finding like monsters and exploring Kashyyyk, and you're helping out like resistances. Kashyyyk was really cool. I love
That
Kashyyyk.
was a fun level.
Yeah.
That was my favorite level in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the OG one. Was
Dude.
Kashyyyk. I would just play that all day. Dude, I would just put Kashyyyk on rotate and just sit down and play Battlefront 2 on my PS2
So like
for
the new
8
Battlefront
hours.
2, like it gets hate, but the Kashyyyk map with that was really fun.
Is it pretty good? I
It's
didn't
sick.
play the new one. I
It's
love
fucking
Kashyyyk,
fun.
though. There's something
They've
about
gone
it.
through like it's a lot better than it was, like the whole game. But like, yeah, the Kashyyyk on that one is just as fun.
Dude, you remember, you guys played the PS2 one, right?
Yeah.
Doing that like, what was that world, the one where you like fight the planets and you're like fighting to...
Felicia, with like the big like bug things.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
The one that's like all mushroomy. And,
Yeah, the one that Ayla Zakura gets
Yeah.
killed on.
Yeah, that one's also in Force Unleashed.
How,
Yep, that was the first of Force Unleashed too.
oh, yeah, that's
That's my
right.
Shock T sighting.
How cool is that? You remember that game mode though, where like you would be fighting against the Empire and you'd have to take control of the planets, and it was like we had this big universe map. And
Oh
like you
yeah,
would...
that game mode Conquest.
Conquest. Yeah, that
Dude,
was so
I
fucking sweet.
I wanted that on the new one so damn bad because that was fun. You could play by yourself or with friends, and you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm just taking this like one by one. And then space battles. Space battles were sick, and you're like, hey, I took the air, now I gotta take the planet.
Yeah,
It's
you.
Sweet.
It was such a fucking cool game, and like they fucked it with the new ones.
I actually went back, so I found a copy of Battlefront 2 for PS2. Like,
It's so
6 months
fucking
ago.
good,
That's why I
huh?
started hours through playing it, and I was like, Conquest, yeah!
It's so cool because you got to fight them in the air. You got to take out the Star Destroyers, and then you fight them on the planet
Yeah.
because they're already there. It's like yes,
There was this one Star Wars game that the one time I got to rent a game and game console from Hollywood Video before it went out. It was PlayStation 2 / GameCube, I think it was on. I don't remember the title of the game, but basically it was, you and one other person would start at like kind of like a Blood Gulch setup in Halo, but two separate bases on separate sides.
Clone
and
Wars.
there are three lanes you could go through,
Clone Wars.
and you could either be a person or like an ATST
yep.
stuff. Yeah,
Clone Wars. That game is
Yeah.
fucking sweet.
Yeah,
I still have
I
the list.
rented that and played the shit out of that with my brother.
And
I
you could
dominated him.
almost not tell when it was your brother, right? Like
Yeah.
it was like they were a little bit different, but like
Yeah.
you were almost fighting a regular troop, and then you
Yeah.
die and you know it was them, and that game's fucking sweet.
It was like 3 different lanes, high, medium, and low type
Yeah.
lanes, and then you could just like be a fucking ATST walking down the lane.
And it's like Conquest where you
Yeah.
take over the points.
yeah,
From what I remember, that was a bitchin' fucking game. dude.
I want to play that.
That game's sweet. There's like so many cool ass Star Wars
You
games.
give me a
It's-
360 because mine broke.
Was it on
I-
360?
There was one for 360. Yeah, I have.
I played the GameCube one a lot.
Yeah, the GameCube
One
one
of
is
my
what I
buddies,
played.
Yeah. It's really fucking fun. Yeah,
Oh, you're right. It's our original Xbox.
Yeah, original
I have
Xbox.
the
Yeah,
original Xbox.
you got to talk into the mic.
I have it for original Xbox.
There
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You can't just hold it in the vicinity of your mouth. What is it?
I
Yeah,
forget.
I know.
It's very
It's
directional.
just like holding a cock to your mouth. Don't worry.
yeah,
Is it
you just
yours?
gotta be a little gay.
You can
that's all.
pretend.
But yeah, they have a good history of games. These Star Wars.
Yeah,
Even the Bounty Hunter.
Even
I
Look
enjoyed.
at Craig's face was not
I
amused. Not
really
amused.
enjoyed Bounty Hunter. It was the right level of bullshit, in my opinion.
Did y'all play Republic Commando? Back
No,
in the
I
day?
don't think I ever played that.
I
one.
think I
Fucking
played a little
Republic
bit.
Commando is the shit, and if you can go back and play it, fucking play it.
I played Starfighter though, and that one was
Oh,
really
that's
cool.
good too.
I rented that one from Larson Video in Springville. Actually, it was super fun. I don't think I ever finished it though. It's super long. But yeah, so you get with these guys and you find out that you're trying to find the list of force sensitive people to restructure what was fallen, right?
Yeah,
Fallen
the
Order.
Order.
And you come across like big beasts in certain areas, and then you fight like the big fat chick.
Oh, Ninth Sister.
Night Sister.
Yeah, Ninth Sister, yeah.
There's a bunch of enemies.
It
that
makes you
fight.
do a bunch of trials. Basically, you're reconnecting yourself to the Force.
It's really weird though, because it's like you forgot how to do these force things, but then when you come across them, it's like you have like an epiphany, like, oh my god, I've been here before, and then you remember, you go back to your
Yeah,
childhood.
you remember like an exact moment where you did something similar, so you're like, oh yeah, now I remember how to do this.
Yeah, you get a flashback, and then you remember being taught by your.
See, I thought that was better
master.
than having to like invest like points or like level up coins into shit.
Yeah, I liked it. And then, it gets really good, I think, story-wise,
When you come to the very end of that, where you learn your last ability, and then like suddenly Order 66 gets initiated,
So fucking dope.
and they
dude.
start killing everybody, and
Yeah,
you
and
and
find
your-
out what happened to your master.
Dude,
and
I love
everything.
it.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. So like, what I like too is the little things where you're going up and like the local trooper's like, "Are we still gonna like spar after lunch or whatever?" And he like high fives you. He's like, "Hey, good luck on your training, man." And I'm like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" And they just like talk to you. Like, if you can go up and talk to him. I don't know if you guys did.
Yeah, I did.
But so I went up and I was just chatting with everyone. I'm like, "Oh yeah, hey, you're so
Yeah,
cool."
I thought it was kind of interesting that they were all super friendly to him.
Well, I mean, that's how it would be though.
That's how it was, yeah, because they
I
were
mean, you
good.
watch the Clone Wars cartoon?
Yeah.
They're friends. Like that shit. They were friends.
They're just machines, essentially. And then when that order is set in, then they go to kill. And it's crazy because, they're like the commander guy is like your bro. Like he's
Yeah, he's
training
like
with
fist
you.
bumping you and shit. And he's like, "Bro, let's get pussy laid." And you're like, "All right, bro."
Yeah, let's go get laid, man. And then like suddenly he's killing your master.
Dude, your master's a badass though. Like,
Yeah,
I sat
yeah.
there and kind of like hid and watched a little bit too because I just like stopped moving and I was watching him just fuck people up and it was pretty rad. Like he's cool.
Yeah, he's tearing it up. And then you finally see your master kind of die and give you his lightsaber. And then
Because
he
you
tells
lose yours, yeah.
Like a fucking pleb.
Yeah, and he's so mad at you too. He's like, "You idiot!"
This is Callaghan, and he's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, especially it's like, well, you made him go through like this bullshit platforming area. Well, you went directly through. So
It's
like-
true. It's true.
And we were getting attacked. Like, come on, really?
Yeah, right. Like you can train for something and then it fucking happens, and you're just like, I forgot.
Yeah. So he gives you his lightsaber, and then he dies while he's doing it.
His lightsaber's sick too.
Yeah, and then you have his lightsaber, and then the lightsaber gets destroyed later because every Jedi has to make their own lightsaber.
Because of his anger.
basically. Yeah.
Because of his anger.
Yeah. He loses his ability to wield the Force. Then he goes back to the Jedi training planet, which name I cannot remember. Illa, okay. And then he forges his own lightsaber. He finds the little crystal.
The Kyber crystal.
Yeah.
Kyber crystal, yeah, and then he makes his own. What color did you guys give it?
I made it yellow. I was using the orange one
That's
from the
my
beginning because I
favorite
had
part
the
about
Premium?
I had the premium thing.
Yes.
yeah.
about the Force Unleashed was
I had it,
changing my lightsaber colors.
I just did teal. I did the lighter blue.
Really?
Yeah.
I did purple.
It's
man.
my
I
favorite
was like-
color of them.
I was
Fucking
like,
went Mace Windu.
everyone should be using purple. I was like, I bet everyone else used purple too because I looked and I was like, oh my god, purple. Oh yeah. we're
See, my
keeping
What
buddy was the
colors-
same
what
as
colors
though.
could
He
you
wanted
choose
the
from at
yellow
the
so
beginning?
bad.
I always go with yellow.
What
if
colors
I can
could you choose from at the beginning?
Blue
Uh,
and green.
yeah,
Unless
only-
you got
only blue and
the,
green, unless you had
special
the-
edition, there was yellow.
Yeah.
I had blue, green.
No,
and-
it was orange. Orange is
Oh,
the
how'd you
one
get
that
purple then?
premium.
When
You
you
can
when you
choose
find
your
your
color.
Kyber crystal in the game,
But they said-
it lets
okay.
you choose. Well, because they
Yeah.
changed what Kyber. For the listeners who don't care, they changed how Kyber crystals work in Star
Right.
Wars with Disney, and it works off your emotions more than it does.
Oh.
You find
So,
a certain color.
I was channeling my inner Sam Jackson when I made that.
Yeah.
You say motherfuckers, you're going through.
Did you know? I heard from somewhere that purple lightsabers weren't really a thing until
No.
Samuel
It was
Jackson
him, yeah.
requested
Samuel- yeah.
having it.
He said he wanted to be
it
seen.
purple. Yeah.
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 So it
So
didn't
it's-
exist until he made it exist.
It's funny though because this guy is the opposite of Sam Jackson's character.
Because George Lucas was like, yeah, you can have whatever color you want. It's like, I'm purple. lightsaber.
Purple.
and purple to me is no
It's- there's
force
no
and
there's no
extreme
more
fighting
no more
capability.
symbolism, no more subtlety. It's just I just wanted a fucking purple lightsaber.
I mean, they made one after, but like, yeah, exactly.
You can't fit the symbolism to something that already exists.
That's true, yeah.
It has to be the other way around, or else you're just full of shit.
But it's funny because I'm playing as someone that has like 1 billion times more force than Mace Windu does in this game. It's like you can slow down time. It's like it doesn't get any more OP than slowing down time.
Yeah, they had to keep doing that ever since they showed Kylo Ren slowing down
I don't
time.
care. I think it's fucking dope as shit.
It's ridiculous though.
They,
It's like
they
he's
created
like
a force power. Now it has to be in all of the video games.
he's like the
from now
most
on.
powerful Jedi ever because of that.
And
I mean,
and because
it's
they
fucking ridiculous.
People
It's
fucking
rad.
suck at making like platforming and puzzles good. Now they had it's just another fucking stupid mechanic to try to liven up a stupid
yeah,
concept.
and it
Dude,
kind of
that's what
shits on
all
everything
the
else.
powers do.
It
I
is.
know.
It shits on everything previously. It's like Luke would die to this guy. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like They both have a lot of force, but only one of them can
Power
slow down
creep.
time.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you gonna do when you're in slow mo?
But now that one
Fucking
person's done it,
Christ.
they all have to do it because
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because then it's like, well, this guy would beat this guy, but the new guy has to be the best, so we have to make him able to do all of these things.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I hate about the previous Star Wars and the new trilogy is because, like, when you see Luke training, Yoda basically is like, yeah, it's basically about your perceptions. Like, that's why Luke couldn't lift up the X-Wing is because, like, he perceived it to be heavy, so he's like, I can't do it. I can't lift this thing up.
Yeah.
So he had to get rid of that idea in order to be able to do it. It's like, well, okay, everybody's just gods. I believe I can slow down time, so I can.
Yeah. They took it for granted almost.
Wait, so
yeah.
slowing down a rocket launcher was the shit and being like, yeah, bye.
I just
Yeah.
forced,
Back, it was-
I force pushed it back, and it just like fucking flung at him.
My
and destroyed
favorite
him.
one
It's
is
way
that-
better.
I floated down to scare him. Just like, you can see the yellow come through. They're like, like their armor. Like,
Yeah.
The thing I loved was there's a trophy for like killing someone with their own laser bolt.
yeah.
And I like stopped it midair and then I force pulled the guy into the laser shot.
Could you just
just like,
deflected
ah!
it? Could you just deflected it back into him?
That doesn't
Yeah.
count though. You
It
have to
doesn't
you
count?
have to
Yeah, just, yeah.
you have to stop time on the bolt and then suck him into his own laser shot and
I'm
it
being
killed
real
him.
though. That's one of my favorite things to
Sweet.
do on Battlefront 2 is Kylo Ren. Is you can you stop and slow people down, and you just walk up and like, you just flip them off and you just start.
So this
killing them, and
brings
you're like,
this brings a whole nother question to the field, especially like after that movie with Kylo Ren when he first did it. So lasers, are they made out of light, or are they made out of like some other form of hot gas or plasma?
I think
I thought
it's a plasma. Yeah.
Yeah.
because slowing down light is a whole
They have,
new bag
they
of
have
things.
plasma blasters, and I think they're supposed to be pretty much the same thing.
They are.
Okay.
They're
They just
like,
work slightly differently.
Then the Mandalorians are like the
especially
buckshot.
since they aren't traveling at the speed of light. It makes more sense.
Yeah, it's actually a piece of plasma.
Yeah, I
think
mean,
is what it's
light
supposed to be.
can contain some mass, which is why a laser sail is a thing. It's for space travel, but yeah, definitely not as much mass as hot plasma would.
Yeah.
But then if you're shooting fucking hot plasma out of your gun, or your lightsaber's made of hot plasma, you're killing yourself at the same time. So because
Yeah.
of how hot it is.
It doesn't really make sense.
But anyways, yeah,
you
this
know?
is don't bring science to our space fantasy.
But that's how I've always perceived the laser blast is like plasma, like
Yeah.
a small amount
Yeah.
of plasma, and most of it's just like a tracer.
Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't be able to deflect it.
Yeah, like
It's
how the
super
fuck
weird.
do you
Otherwise you
deflect
could just
light?
like hold up a mirror and just be like, ha ha!
You'd be unstoppable. A prism, you just kill everyone around
You're
you.
just like ducked.
It's got like 30 different like faces, and it just kills everything. It's like
Yeah,
the
it is.
power of Pink Floyd is
Yeah,
strong.
you just stick like a prism inside your laser gun, and it's like it splits everything.
It's a shotgun. That's how you make it a shotgun. Yeah, you just everyone's getting slightly killed every shot.
Does that mean if so anything that they believe they can do, is that where they're getting at?
Kinda.
But how do the midichlorians fit into that?
So like force abilities.
It doesn't really. That's a problem.
Yeah, it doesn't because it's fucking retarded.
Yeah, no one talks about midichlorians.
If they would have done
It's
midichlorians as a scientific like representation of this is your force power, it would have worked. But they didn't do that.
It's canon.
It's so dumb though.
It can still be
like,
canon, but they don't acknowledge it. Like Jar Jar Binks. I don't acknowledge Jar Jar Binks anymore either.
You can make
It's
it
just a
canon,
character.
and you can make it this is how
I
we.
don't think it should exist at all.
Well, you know
In
what I'm
any-
saying,
in
though,
any
Craig.
way.
If you used it as just a measurement tool, like, this is how force sensitive
Oh,
you
what,
are,
like Fahrenheit? Like,
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
it works, but it doesn't work in the way that they made it.
Would
They-
it be like magic amoebas? You mean?
Kinda, yeah.
So you play
So
Yu-Gi-Oh?
do
That's
you
what they
get the
are.
force from
Yeah.
them? Like, do
Yes.
they help you
It's fucking stupid.
So it's a
essentially what it is
tandem of
you're
what you believe
asking
and
the
what you can
amoebas
actually
to do something magical for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
Which
it
is
doesn't
fucking
work.
stupid.
Yeah.
And it completely counteracts everything Yoda said in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Which is why every Star Wars outside of the original trilogy is stupid.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah, I am.
I kind of,
It's okay to be wrong, Craig.
I
It's
kind of
okay.
agree.
It's okay to be right. Thank you.
The top three movies are the original three to me, and then Episode
Gotta
3
love
almost
Empire.
makes
I
it.
love Revenge of the Sith. It's so good. I love watching it.
I wish there was more reason for him to like fall away. And if it was
His
better
wife
done.
dying's not good enough for you?
No.
No, yeah.
He goes bad really fucking quickly and entirely in that movie.
He was always
They're
bad.
like, oh yeah, there's that one scene where he kills sand people in 2, but then it's like, okay, now it's 3. He's gonna murder children.
He murdered
and then he's gonna murder
children in the second one.
And then he's gonna murder a shitload
Does
of
sand people not count because they're aliens?
They're
Craig?
not real people.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, they're not real people.
Not
Sand
real
people are. You have to treat sand people like you treat groupies. They're just not real.
Yeah,
If you look at him
Just take
as
your penicillin shot and you're good to go.
take your penicillin, kill all the children, and then move on.
I mean, everybody would have had to have known he did that, and everybody was just cool with it. So,
Yeah.
I
Did
mean,
everyone know though?
You always
feel like they would.
Him and Pat.
That's
man.
why
I
I
always felt
like-
like he did that in
Because if
secret.
they were connected to the Force, I'm pretty sure that Yoda would
But
have
Yoda
felt
did
it.
say he felt pain in that one.
Yeah.
He did say he felt something.
That's the.
But I don't know necessarily if it was a loss of life or if it was Anakin.
he could have been
being
eating
himself.
pineapple at the same time, just had heartburn. Just,
That's
yeah.
true. He could have.
That's the rigid.
Space pineapple.
That's the rigid
Yoda does
structure.
love pineapple. It's canon.
It's canon.
Yeah, that's why they became too rigid and they fell. It's like the whole idea of the prequels is they became so they believed that they were the right thing even though they were doing wrong things, and then they collapsed because of it.
You join a war.
But it doesn't fucking work because it's so dumb. It sucks. I really don't like the prequels, dude. I hate them. It's all right. Like I watched even episode 3. I watched and I was like, it's better than the other two. But
It's also
Jesus,
really
I
dumb
still
that
don't
they
like
thought
it.
that they could be generals. at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, it's like, what are they doing
They were
here?
put
Like, it
in
doesn't-
charge of like all these clone legions, and it's like you guys only know your religion. Like, what makes you?
I
a
mean,
valid
you could.
general?
They're but they go to planet as like negotiators.
I mean,
And I mean,
yeah,
like, and
but-
it's more militaristic because some it's like, hey, like we're going specifically like,
but in
kill
like
this
that cartoon,
person.
they're also like the generals, and they call
right,
them
they
that,
are-
and they
yeah, they
call
do.
Kenobi a general. It's
Well,
like
it's-
what makes
and it's part of
a valid general.
It's part of
His
Palpatine's
plan is like to go blow things up. Like it's not more complicated than that.
Right, but it's
But see-
Palpatine's plan.
but see,
He's separating them.
Right, he's separating a part of his plan, but they also it could be argued that extremely force sensitive people would be able to make the right decision. Like Yoda knew,
Right, 'cause they can feel through
Yoda could
it.
feel the Order 66 happening.
I don't
before it
think
happened.
being force sensitive equates to militaristic knowledge.
No, it doesn't equate to militaristic knowledge. I mean, they could, Yoda probably could have studied like some military.
I mean,
stuff.
yeah, Yoda's
But
900
it's-
years old. Him knowing anything
but,
is not surprising.
But it's supposed to be able to feel imminent things that might
Right,
happen.
because they
that
can, like,
they
tell the
make-
future
They could,
almost,
they
yeah.
could like
They can
oh,
sense,
hey,
yeah.
shit's gonna happen, so I'm gonna redirect the troops here, and see it proves it by Yoda knowing that the fucking clone troopers are gonna shoot him before they actually did.
Yeah.
the seeing
with,
the future thing, I also don't really like.
it's not really seeing the future. It's
Because it's
sensing
like-
something.
It's sensing
bad.
danger. It's sensing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's their
sensing
Jedi
danger. Well,
Spidey sense.
Because
Well,
Anakin senses it when the little gay ass like
he
worm
saw
comes into the
Padme
room with Padme.
die though, like in the future, and then it happens. And
But
it's
they-
like,
but he said it
and
was-
it's because he played directly into it.
Right, because he said the future for like with the Sith was clouded, and they talk about it a lot because the Jedi Temple was built in a Sith nexus.
Yeah, and
But
the
since
thing
they can
is,
see the future is why they make them generals.
yeah,
Read books, Craig.
and also the reason why he turned evil was because he thought the Jedi was the path that made Padawan die, but it was actually the
It was
Sith.
actually him.
It was him, yeah. And then he saw that, and that's why he cries like a cat at the end of the third movie. It's because he knew that he was the catalyst to all of the things that made him suffer and made him turn evil.
Right.
He's an idiot.
See, I could see that too, where it's just like it's the culmination. of
You
everything.
remember when fucking Obi-Wan told him that too? He was like, "Yeah, you did all that." And he's like, "Nah."
Yeah, he didn't believe it, yeah.
He's like, no.
Yeah, it's okay. God, that's such a shitty fucking...
Okay, anyway, back to the game.
Yeah, this game doesn't have that. Thankfully. No cat noises.
So essentially, the bad guys end up getting the holocron that has the names of all the children. So you have to go get it back from the for the second sister.
Bro, that fucking the Inquisitorium is so sick looking.
Yeah,
Like,
and so you break through there.
I question it. That's all I'll say.
You beat her, you grab it, and then
So cool.
Vader shows up.
That was for me. That was like the best part of the game. I'm gonna be honest. I love the game.
I both
but Vader
loved-
showing up was bad.
I
Fucking
both
ass.
loved and hated it
Nope.
because of two reasons.
I'm with Craig.
It's cool that he showed up and everything about it was pretty sweet, but nothing came of it, so he really had no purpose.
I think
Because one, when Sarah comes in to try and save you, he like tosses her over the fucking thing into lava, and she shows up again like 2 minutes later
with all her limbs.
Yeah,
Hey.
with all her
completely
limbs.
fine.
You're supposed to fall in lava when you don't have arms and legs.
When I was playing Shadow Mordor, I fucking kicked that fucking orc into the lava.
Yeah.
And he came back.
I cut heads off and they came back.
Came
Like,
back.
are you alive?
So
Cam, this is-
lava isn't as dangerous as we think it is.
This was a
You
fucking
just have a
cutscene,
cyborg
okay?
head, and how are you fucking
We don't know
here?
how deep it was either. Like, I'm going to play devil's advocate because we
Dude.
don't know how deep it is.
Dude.
Darth Maul got cut in half and he came
no,
back. Nothing matters
I'm just
anymore.
saying that
Nothing.
it seems like nothing when the most powerful bad guy comes in and he does literally no damage to anyone on the team.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, like, if she died, like, if everybody died, like in fucking, in Rogue One, I would have been like, you know what? It was much better than it was.
That's what I was wondering
Because,
about.
like, it basically is Rogue One, but everybody lives and there's, like, a happy ending. It's
Yeah.
like,
but
fucking
not really.
what?
Like, they're going to make a sequel because you know they're going to make a sequel.
They're making a sequel, yeah, obviously, because they
But
have
here's the thing,
to.
like-
but, like, it's...
But it's like for me, it's more like hey, like Force Unleashed, whatever. Like he does die at the end, but he comes like back or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's a
But here's the
clone.
thing: is like if they continue it and they give me a good ending, because he can't be alive
He
when
can't,
episode 4
yeah.
comes around. He can't. Him's here.
Yeah.
Maybe the Night Sister chick could. Who knows? And Grease could. Whatever. But if they give me a good ending, then it's all worth it.
Okay, so
It's
here.
a journey and it's worth it.
Okay, Cameron. Here's the thing about Shadow of War or Mordor. I cut a guy's head off, and I like cut his head like into his head, and he came back with like a cyborg. It was just like a plate of metal on the side of his head. And I got to the end of the game, and I was like, "How are you alive? I've killed you like 6 times." And he had like
Right.
metal fucking. He had like stitches on his throat. Like half of his head was metal. I'm like. What is
Hey,
it? Just
right.
staple steel to
Right.
your fucking
Right.
head, and they're like,
And so-
"All right, get back up."
And so there,
What the fuck?
there have been cases of people who
What the
live.
fuck is this?
There have been cases of people who have lived after having things that go through their brain and stuff. There are cases of that. And so I got so fucking tired of killing my fucking orc over
Your
and over
nemesis,
again.
yeah.
I threw him into fucking lava. I
still
tossed
alive.
that fucker off a cliff into fucking Mount Doom. And he came back not even 20 minutes later.
Yeah, dude, the
fine.
final showdown in that Shadow of War, I was like
It's still
cry
on my
laughing.
Twitter.
I was
It's
like,
still on my
you?
Twitter.
It's you? You're alive? I've killed you like 16 times.
Dude, that's-
and he's like hobbling in like with a limp, like, hello. He's got like a fucking
He's like
rope.
a hunchback from 300.
Yeah, he's got a fucking robo arm, a half robot head, and it's like it's not even a robot. It's just a piece of steel. It's like what the fuck is
It's
this?
because that fucking game has
So
like
many
10
times.
orcs. It's
Fucking
like,
die.
okay, well, if you get rid of one, we can't make another orc.
I just don't.
You
I want to have like maybe like he comes back a couple times, but like there's no way you can come
Oh,
back from
dude,
some of that.
my guy, I killed him like 60
Oh, yeah.
times. He
Oh,
hunted me
yeah.
down consistently.
And you kill him every
and
time?
I killed him, yeah. I literally killed that guy 60 times.
Yeah, and you're-
then he became my rival at the end of the game. And I was like,
Yeah.
how the fuck are you still even
there's
here?
nothing about there's
not
nothing
rival.
about us.
If that's the
is
case,
a rivalry.
Okay,
I fucking dominated you.
I mean,
but you keep coming back.
Yeah, it's
Don't
like-
try to
it's
like,
like-
talk it up,
that
making
guy-
it seem like we're equals.
It's
we're
like,
rivals.
yeah, it's Utah versus BYU. It's like,
But
yeah,
it's not even the
they're
same
always
fucking
going to lose to
level.
Utah
Dude,
every
your-
time.
your
It's
rival-
a rivalry, but only one side is counting points because they always
Exactly.
win.
your rival in Shadow of
It's
War
like-
and Shadow of Mordor, but like they're all just more immortal than you are.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just what it
it's
is.
like I thought I was special, but this guy has died way
This
more than I've
dude
died.
is-
that guy's
actually
ghost
the
is way more bullshit than yours.
Yeah, like who the fuck is helping him out? Like,
Okay,
His
look,
ghost is
Here it
Sauron.
is. Here it is. I'm like, okay, fuck you. I'm pushing you to this fucking cliff, and then I toss him down
Yeah, he's
into
dead.
fucking lava.
there's no comeback.
Yeah, he's really high up too. Like, there's no coming back.
Look, and I fucking look down there. I'm like, yeah, look, there's no way. That's a lake of lava down there. And then I'm like, nope, lava pit didn't kill him either. I'm sitting here trying to turn someone, and the glitch didn't give me like the fucking like hold it down to turn him right. So I do it again, fucking turned him, and I walk around. I've come back. This is always the way.
See, mine had like a sheet of metal across half of his head because I cut his head like
There should
down.
be nothing left to stitch back together.
These high fantasy
Nothing's
universes
left.
have
He's burnt.
Yeah,
he should
yeah.
be all robots.
These high fantasy universes have no fucking rules. That's all it is.
There are no more rules.
So yeah, he tossed her off the edge, but fuck it, she's fine.
Yeah, I just think that
I was
if
surprised she
at
came
least-
back.
I was like, if she at least died, I would have been like okay with that. Because, she had her whole arc and her whole emotional thing.
And
in
I
the
kind of
story.
like the
Because,
anticlimactic
like,
end,
the second
too.
sister was like, it was her Padawan that turned evil. And I was like, okay, so if she died, that would have been fucking sweet. That would have been the end of her story.
Oh, thank you.
But then
thank
she's
you.
like, ha-ha!
I always
surprise!
come back. This is the way.
Yeah, it was extra dumb because she was like the whole time she's like, holy fuck, it's Vader! Like, get the fuck out!
Yeah.
He's gonna murder all of us.
See, and from like reading the comics and stuff for like the Inquisitors, what made me think about it too, because I did have that initially, was if he was just trying to make them look bad, like the Inquisitors themselves.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, they fucked, because like in the comics he fucking hates them, and
Yeah,
it's like
he
thing
does.
where he's like, yeah, like he's like, why do I have to have these people? It's like I'm the most powerful in the city. It's like, just let them play.
Yeah, yeah, it's
and
like
I'm
the-
wondering if it was him being like, hey, like, oh, look what happened. I got there and their base was fucked up.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that little bitch right there, like he didn't kill him. I don't know, man. I don't
It's
know.
like the
That's what it
Lannisters
is.
and the Freys in Game of Thrones. It's like, why do we have to keep helping you do the things that we want you to do? It's like,
Right.
you guys suck. And,
that's
he,
what-
and he punishes her. He kills her off, right? Or
Yeah, he kills her when she's like a vengeance, and he just.
And I like and dislike the Vader scene as well. I'm like, oh, it's so surprised. I was surprised that he came in, but I was also like,
I wasn't really surprised. I was like, I figure
I
Vader's
always
gonna show
see the back
up.
of my head. I was like, he's gonna be in the
Like,
game.
I was
He's gonna
like,
be in the game.
This is after, so he is Vader now, and I bet he's gonna show
But see
up.
as well,
and then he totally
did you watch?
did.
Did you ever watch Rebels? The
No, I
series?
didn't.
So he's the main villain of season 2, and he doesn't obviously kill him because there's 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So like, and he's powerful, and they show it, but it's like there's always a MacGuffin. There's always a way to get out. I mean, in that one, it was they like broke the pipe, and, like the water shut down.
If that part had turned like full on horror game where you're just like fucking running like
Yeah.
in fucking Resident Evil 2 where you're running from Mr. X, like if it was like that, I'd have been like, holy
yeah,
fuck.
so, and it kind of is.
And,
it is,
and
but
you
they don't
do
capitalize
that,
on it.
but then like you're like, oh well, I have just as much strength, so I'm gonna do something to get away.
Bro, when he almost killed my droid, I was pissed. When he like
Yeah.
grabs BD1, I'm like, you son of a bitch! Kill the children, but not the droid.
and then he shocks him. That was super cool.
Yeah.
Player by Nature said they showed him one of the trailers. I didn't see that trailer.
I didn't see it either.
Honestly, I felt like he was sort of misplaced, though. I felt like it cheapened the experience because you didn't need to have the Ultimate Evil there to make it. And then at the end, he has a cameo where he chases you around and you escape like
well,
a.
I mean, it's Star
like a
Wars.
fucking
He's got to have a cameo in
like
every
a
Star Wars
Scooby
thing
Doo. It's
now.
like a Scooby Doo survival. Like, oh, we're gonna make it. There's no risk. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I felt like it cheapened the experience.
Yeah, the lack of risk, I think, made
Does
it.
he stab
Vader-
you? I can't remember. Does he
No,
stab you?
no,
No.
Vader showing up is always badass. So there's always that like badass feature. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And,
And
then
he
I
did,
was like,
he did one
eh.
cool thing
Yeah.
where he
You know,
like
it's
he
like-
kills the second sister. He like cuts her head off, and then he's just like, okay, well now I'm coming after
Dude,
you.
when he was, like, doing all
he's
the
like,
Force
give me the
stuff,
holocron, and then he was just like,
Give me the holocron.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what he does.
He forces you
There's
out,
the
doesn't he? Because he
fucking word
stops it and it like,
holocron.
shoots you back out, right? I can't remember because I beat it like in December.
He's like super powerful, and
No,
he's just fucking up the entire base. But then you just get away, and
Yeah,
it's
you like get in the elevator, and he's like walking towards you, and he doesn't even attempt to stop
That's
it.
what I was wondering too. And I'm going, I'm like, he's gonna stop the elevator. He's gonna stop the
Yeah, I
elevator.
thought he was gonna stop the like doors from closing, and then he was gonna fucking murder you because he just killed
'Cause that's-
because you thought he just killed Sarah like by
Yeah.
throwing her in fucking lava. But then it's like, nope, he gets away, and then Sarah's like, haha, I'll save you at another moment. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, see,
there was
that-
like
and that's the thing,
literally,
too, where I'm like, how did she
literally
get up
no.
no danger almost.
No, yeah, there's no danger in that moment, so it's like, okay, well then it kind of
Yeah.
like
Like,
it
Darth
fucks over
Vader is
the
such a
effect
heavy,
that it fucks over the effect that they were
like
going
Darth
for in
Vader,
that moment.
Like he just his appearance is supposed to have a very powerful impact. It's
He
supposed
should
to,
have
like,
killed
really
some
bring
people,
an oh shit
yeah.
moment.
No, I
Like,
agree. I think he
I
should
went
have killed
to-
Siri. He 100% should have.
Yeah.
In Vegas, I went to oh crap, what's it called? That VR place. Anyways, the VR place, right? You put on the VR headset and whatnot, and you're actually let into like the room. Like they put up like walls and stuff for you, but with your VR headset on, it just looks like you're in the game. Like we were playing as fucking rebels, right? And infiltrating this this base. And when Vader showed up, it was like he fucking took us out. It was like a real oh fuck moment when Vader showed up.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I
It's
want to
real
play that.
heavy.
That sounds
it's real,
sick.
It's a real heavy moment. It's like a real impactful like appearance. Like you can't just have like he's got so much presence. You're doing the character a disservice by not giving it the weight. it needs. And so it's like, well, if it doesn't fit the story, you're fucking writing a story. Don't write Vader in if you don't want to have
See,
that impactful.
And I'm
moment.
sure what they were going for was the same reaction that Rogue One had. Where they're in the room and it's like his lights are. I'm sure that's exactly what they
And
were
he
going for.
fucks
But I
up
agree, it did miss the
everybody.
fact.
Yeah,
It did
Vader
it did 100%
in Rogue One, he wasn't really doing anything. He was kind of just showing up.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But
Sweet.
in this one, he was literally trying to get you, and then you just get away with no consequences.
You just get away.
Yeah, it felt cheapened by having him in there because I was like, it was almost cool to not have one of the big characters.
And then the fucking like witch chick that you pick up from Dathomir didn't help you at all. In the
I kind of
last
wanted
part.
to fuck her though. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
me
I
too.
mean, everybody does.
But did you watch her face animations? Like she'd be like, "Oh, hi, Jedi," and then like straight back to normal. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is worse than Horizon Zero Dawn. She's like,
It's
"Oh,
not worse.
do you want
but
to
it's
suck
pretty
on my
bad.
fucking clam?" And then she's like, all happy, and then she goes back to like super serious. I'm like, this is. I don't like I kind of want to fuck this chick, but like, I'll
I
probably
don't
just
like
look
her
up
mood
porn.
changes.
You know,
I'm
you created a word just for that, though.
What?
Just that face.
Oh, the puss face.
You created a word
Yeah.
just for it.
Dude, seriously though, it's so weird. Like the animation's so fucking janky in this fucking thing. But yeah, I liked her a lot though. I was like,
But yeah, she didn't serve a purpose either. She's like, yeah, I'm going to come help you out on your journey, and then she doesn't do
I'm gonna fuck you when you
I mean,
save your game. That's
she
what I
stops
thought.
what your initial plan was. So did she really help you though?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing too. Is like I'm banking on a second game. Like I was banking on a second one. As
Yeah.
soon as
Oh,
it came
there's
out.
gonna be a second.
You know what I mean?
There's
So, like-
also a subplot with the Jedi who's fallen, who's on Dathomir.
Dude, Malicos is dope as shit.
That
Yeah.
he
I
was
liked
the coolest
Malicos.
fight.
I
in
wish
the
he was
game.
connected more to you, though. I wish there was more of a personal connection. But I don't know how you would pull that off. So I guess
Right.
it doesn't.
Well, I
really
mean, the
work.
game didn't really have that much of a story anyway, other than like, you know, Sarah's connection to the second sister.
Yeah, which was cool, but I called it like
Yeah,
immediately.
same.
The second I
Yeah.
saw it, I was like, oh, I bet you this chick's related to her because she's like, oh,
She does. It
I had a
also does
Padawan,
like
but
say
she
that.
died. And she looks at the camera.
It does say that like almost immediately,
And then
so
looks
it's like,
away.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were some cool little plots in there, even though I guessed them. Like I guessed that guy was going to be evil, the Wanderer,
Yeah.
who ended up being Malicos.
I like how you find a ship like while you're like looking around too. Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. The world is very well fleshed out.
I think so.
And story wise, it's okay. You know, I think Sekiro has a stronger story because it's more emotional. It's weird though. This story's kind of similar, where it's the game is mostly about the gameplay, obviously.
Yeah, I
This
felt
is a
like the
gameplay.
story was basically like a Rogue One where nothing happens.
Where no one dies, yeah. And I was
not
like,
just that no one dies, but nothing happens.
how powerful would the game
like
have been if they would
the
have died
thing
at the
that they
end?
go
Right.
after, they just kill. They just
They destroy
it.
it, yeah, because
So
he
it's like,
finds the
okay,
list and he burns it. And I
which
was like,
I get why, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm like, the whole plot of this game was for nothing.
See, but I didn't. I called that as well though from playing it. I
That he
like,
was gonna destroy
Yeah, I was
it?
like, they're not going to do it. They're not.
because it's the same.
well, I mean,
thing,
they
'cause-
can't because like that's why I thought that Vader was just going to take it and kill them, and they were going to like try to damage it before like he killed them.
Right.
Like that's what I thought was going to happen, and and if that had happened, I'd have been like, hell yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like he throws his lightsaber and cuts it in half right as Vader kills him.
Yeah,
I'm like,
essentially.
holy fuck.
Yeah, it would have been like that
Whoa,
fucking
that was heavy.
like a sweet moment like from like fucking Modern Warfare where he like throws the knife and he like gets
Oh, he
him
hits
and,
Shepard in the
like,
face
gets
or
fucking
whatever.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, there's nothing like that. It's-
No,
and they just get away, and then they blow it, and then they kill they destroy the holocron, and so it's like, okay, well, everything we just did was basically
A waste of time.
Point-
But you had
Pointless.
fun along the way.
I liked it
because
though
like
because
they wouldn't have been able to get the holocron in the first place without your help.
Yeah,
because like one
exactly.
of the final barriers is like being a good guy.
So you enabled
So it's like-
their access to it, and then you destroyed it anyway. It's like, why did you even go after it?
Because she's in there when you're in there.
She's in there, but she can't access like the thing. Like she would have to like face herself, and like that whole you have to be the good
But
guy
arguably, like, I mean, you have to face yourself.
thing on
but could you?
Dathomir and whatever, like to even get the key to get in
So
there.
she wouldn't
like,
have been. No
they
one
would
would have.
they wouldn't have been able to get in.
You were the only one that could have.
Okay, but that's I'm gonna
Or
go.
if-
I'm gonna go with the Game of Thrones thing on this one, where it's like, oh, we're gonna go out and we're gonna like give the Night King a dragon, and in the books, it doesn't say in the shows obviously, but like the wall is like inherently magic, so it keeps out the Night Walkers. Jesus. And they hit it, and it's like, okay, I guess we'll just fuck ourselves for story.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of liked it. It was almost like the end of Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, though, where like I'm like, oh yeah, you got to kill the dinosaurs, and then they hit the eject button. They're like, let the dinosaurs go free, and I was like, no,
no, why would you let dinosaurs into the real world? Are you fucking stupid?
And then at the end, it's like, oh yeah, dinosaurs are ravaging the world. It's like, yeah, no shit, they're dinosaurs.
Their face is like, they're
know
like
what?
driving away.
Yeah, it's like, there's a pterodactyl.
The
It's like, yeah,
sequel
you know
to
what
that
that's
movie,
gonna do?
though, Schweiss, is Turok. And so
Oh,
that's
fuck,
fine.
that's true. That's awesome.
So did you see
It would be fucking sweet if they were like, all right, now it's Turok.
So they're did a casting call for the movie, and they're like, "We need people get eaten by dinosaurs," and I was like, "Fucking sign me up, sign me the fuck up. I'm down."
I know. But like, it was kind of the same idea to me. It was like, I hated it, but I liked it at the same time.
Yeah.
I liked how they got rid of it, but it does make the whole story like almost a non-starter because. But of course, that's part of that's sometimes part
But
of
does
life.
it make it a non-starter, or does the sequel start with them still being hunted because they think they still have it?
Yeah, that could be it.
And
I
it's
just think that
how do you convince someone like Vader you don't have it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna get it regardless, and so it's
I think in some ways it's a very realistic story because sometimes you go for something really, really hard, and then once you have it, you realize you don't even want
we
it.
also learned that reading minds is part of the Force. So
Yeah.
Well, part of the whole
Well, if you
story was
torture
like, Cal figuring out, it's like, hey, you know what? If we did make this, then eventually the Empire would find us.
Well, it comes to
And
his
so
it comes
it's
to
like-
his vision too. Yeah, where it's like,
but it's like at the same time, it's like, well, that may not necessarily be true.
I think what happened is he wanted to.
They're bound. They were bound by what we know from the Star Wars movies, which is why they couldn't do it.
right.
Yeah.
But theoretically,
They
the
could've.
future isn't set in stone. So what he saw doesn't necessarily have to happen.
And that's canon, right? You see things that don't necessarily
Right.
happen.
Could you imagine though if they did keep it and they set it up, and then like there's like after credit scene or whatever is them like after Return of the Jedi, like that's who Luke teaches.
yeah.
It would have been very interesting. I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much that it did that, but I think it would have been a very interesting.
So I think the
Thing to throw
reason
in.
I think why they got rid of it is because he realized if they kept it, they would do the same thing again. They would have created the Jedi Order. It would have fallen into the state.
Well, that's
of-
exactly what he saw in,
Yeah.
in the thing. It's like he created the Jedi Order again, but then like the Empire just comes in and fucks him
it
over.
became tyrannical, and that's what happened in the movies. The Jedi Order was so like the law that it became oppressive to the point where
I thought that was weird that they had such a strong connection to politics, which I never really understood. Which is why I hate the prequels.
well,
Because it doesn't really make any fucking sense. I mean, it's a religion, and if they're a republic, you would have thought that they would have had, like, state above church, but apparently not.
do you know what state we live in?
yeah,
I do.
Like
Yeah.
those Mormon
And,
missionaries,
I'm just-
man.
And I
Like,
could
you know
see
what I'm
that.
saying?
I could see that on some planets,
I mean,
but
if you
not
just
the
look
entire
throughout- no,
planetary
just-
But
scale.
it's not the
Throughout
entire
history,
planetary stuff
though.
because all the
Throughout
Republic
history,
isn't every single
churches
planet.
always exercise power over people
Yeah,
and
but-
government.
Yeah,
So-
so that's why I think it's very realistic.
But the
When you have a
Jedi
whole bunch of
religion
people living into one
isn't
thing.
really that.
Because here it
many
is. It's
people,
basically
if you think about it.
Yeah,
what
but
they're
they're
living in is
super powerful.
basically the Crusades.
They're fucking Jedi.
But it's still a religion,
I
and there's
know.
still
Right,
not
it
that
is.
many
But-
people.
well, here it is though. It
They have
was
laser swords and they can choke you with their mind. I would do it. They said do.
They were wiped out by a bunch of clones of a dude who wasn't really that strong.
yeah. He
But
got
it was more
he got
than-
his head cut off instantly.
So
I learned playing against 9 recruit level bots.
Yeah, see?
That even though I am so much better than all of them, there's a point to where there's just too many of
Well,
them.
that's the thing is
that's
like,
what I'm saying. It's like the
You just
Jedi.
can't-
It's like
you can't
they're
kill 'em
strong.
all.
but his thing is like, and it says it. I know you hate the prequels or the sequel series, but Luke says it in their hubris. They felt they died.
Yeah.
They thought they were so unreachable and so fucking fantastic.
They thought they were so
that the
right.
Sith Lord couldn't be in front of their face the entire time.
Yeah.
and that's what it comes down to too. And that's what for that is. You
And
can
that's-
think you're hot shit, but it doesn't mean you are.
Well, that's the thing
you
is
can think the Mexican chick in your store is flirting with
that's
you. but you might
partially
not
why
be.
I hate the Phantom Menace. Is because like they were
Deep
like
cuts.
they're because
Sorry, Jay.
after the Phantom Menace, they were like, oh, so the Sith are still around, which is something they didn't believe in the first place.
No, they thought they were
And
gone.
then they were like, okay, well, there's always like at least 2 of them, so there's gonna be another one.
But then,
And then they didn't even look.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. It's the ultimate battle. It's the yin and yang. It's the chaos and order. You have to have both. And the problem with the Jedi Order is it's too
I hate
much
that-
order.
I just hate that they just put too much weight on their that there has to be both. It's only a story, compelling thing. It's just there doesn't have to be.
No, there does
It
though.
just-
There really does.
It's a rule of two.
Just to
No,
make,
think
just to
about
make
it,
sure
though.
that the story works. Yeah,
No, it
but-
works in real life though, because that's
No,
the only way
there's-
you're. No, think about it. If you have too much order, it becomes Nazi Germany. It becomes the law of the land is all there is, and that's what the Jedi Order became. They became fascist, and that's why they fell. But you need a little bit of chaos. You need to do a little bit out of the box so that you're not just a rigid, lifeless human being, and that's the
It
whole
also
idea
kind of works in that
of the yin and
way
yang.
of like what Schweitz was saying because of how easily it was for Palpatine to take over.
Exactly.
Right.
Because he made it familiar
Because
to what
people
they already
wanted
knew.
it. People wanted that level of chaos, and you need that in your
Plus,
life.
he
and
was.
that's
Plus, he did the same thing that like Julius Caesar and everybody else did by winning wars constantly.
And
Right.
that's
within
the-
the Clone Wars.
Yeah, because they were coming out on top.
Yeah,
100%.
they were fucking him over. So it's like okay, and he was controlling both sides, so he made sure that they would
Right,
win.
and how perfect is that though? Because whatever side you want to win is going to win that way.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of that's why I really like what the prequels were trying to do, but they executed it very poorly.
Yeah, they didn't tell
With
him
terrible
enough of what was
dialogue.
going on.
To me, like,
And
yeah, no, I agree because like they wanted it to be like way flashy.
And Phantom Menace was
And I
kind
feel
of a
like-
waste of a movie, to be honest.
yeah, and
That
I
fight
think
scene, though, at the end.
I think that's why
It was cool, but at the same time, it was also intercut with like Anakin flying around in space.
Listen,
which is
spinning's a
fucking
good
stupid.
trick.
it's the difference between anarchism and like fascism. It's like there's very, very, very strict rules and everyone follows them and no one says anything otherwise, or there's no rules and everything's chaos because of that.
Something
And that's like that's what the yin and yang is. That's why the
I agree.
dots are in the middle of each, because you're supposed to occupy a little bit of both, and that's like perfect balance. And that's where kind of the original trilogy is sort of at. And it tilts a little towards the the bad on the end of the third one, because Luke is he's dressed in black and he's killing people and he's
And then his
becoming-
thing opens
That's
up and
not
it's
why,
white.
but okay.
That's not
his-
why, but that's what that
But
symbolizes.
that was it was a
to
symbol.
me.
It's what it is symbolizing, and they've said that. That's why when he's fighting Vader, his shirt rips open and it like folds down, and there's a white there. Is because it's like he let.
It's
good
both,
win.
yeah, and
'cause
it's-
he let the good win.
George
inside of him.
Lucas jerks off to this shit. Like that's what he loves.
Well, he did anyway.
He
before
did,
went
and then
crazy.
and then he doesn't give a shit anymore. But like I think that's the idea, and that's why the prequels could have been really cool. But like it's just dumb. There's too many politics scenes of boring talking about like
Right.
what we should do and like shitty animations.
Mm-hmm.
And this game though is before. It's kind of in the midst of that, and I like that in a lot of ways because it's like after Order 66, and it's kind of like the fallout, because we didn't really see that, right? We saw Order 66, Anakin becomes Vader,
It was very glossed over, yeah.
and then it's suddenly Episode 4.
except for in the cartoons.
No, well, so so this new Clone Wars series, because they're finally finishing it off the cartoon. It's season 6. It's gonna be Order 66 and a little bit after Revenge of the Sith. So we're gonna see some more Fallout, and I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, it's like the fallout is at this point it's kind of assumed. Like you just assume what
No,
happens.
you're like, okay, like these people are dead.
Clearly, almost all of them were wiped out, and there's Yoda and Luke, and then like they kind of
Yeah.
like and Obi-Wan, who dies like immediately
If,
in
yeah.
the first movie. And like that's just it. It's like this weird religion that only a few people follow, only a
Right.
few people are sensitive to. And so I don't know. This game kind of does it right in a bunch of ways, but then there's a couple things that I don't like about the story.
Yeah.
I think I'd give the story like a 6.
A 6, huh? That's kind of rough.
It was a game. The story was meant to serve gameplay, but I feel like the ending really fucked it over, like in a lot of ways. They went and got they had that whole thing with Malithus or whatever his name is. He didn't really have much relevance to the story.
Yeah, even though it was
neither
cool.
did, and then neither did Vader. Like he shows up and didn't really do anything that was
Right.
other than killing the second sister, which probably would have happened anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, nothing happened, and that's I don't really think I can forgive that.
See, I saw Malicos more as like what you could be.
I saw that
you
too.
If you would have he would have let his hate consume him.
And
If he was older.
he is definitely the coolest boss fight. But story wise, like all you get out of that is you get that witch chick who helps you out, and then she doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah,
She's eye candy, bro.
So,
Let her be eye
I
candy.
mean, yeah, she's eye candy, but at the same time, she didn't do anything.
it kind of shows like, I don't know, it shows part of the descent of the Jedi. Like, right, it shows that, you know, this is what you could do if you do it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he does go tell her that, like, you know, he was once a Jedi, but he's not anymore. It's
Yeah,
like, that's not what we're trying to be.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, I get it, but then you don't do anything with the holocron anyway, so it makes that whole thing like, I mean, yeah, you're right still.
But again, but
then you
it's
didn't-
her. She's the kind of influences your decision at the end too, because she says like, "What would you do if you found these kids? Is this really a life you want for them? The same as like what you have right now? Would
Yeah.
you want them to be hunted?" So she kind of influences his
For some
decision
reason,
at the
I
end.
really hate the word holocron.
yeah.
I just don't like that word.
It sounds wrong.
It's
been around for a while.
Too
It's a-
termy.
It's a fake word.
I mean, it's very termy. It's
That's the lambus bread of this game.
He
It's like,
didn't
what are you
even
talking
use
about?
the holocron. The holocron.
It sounds like it should mean something, but it means absolutely nothing.
It just means
Holocron
basically
didn't
that it's a flash drive that can
It's-
project a hollow image of
Yeah.
what you're trying to like.
It's essentially
look at.
it's essentially R2D2 with Padme or whatever.
But you have to have force abilities to open
So
it.
R2D2
You can't open it without force
in
ability.
effect is a holocron.
No.
Yeah, as a holocron.
No, he's not, because a holocron can only be accessed with a force user. No one else can access a holocron.
But it's like it's the message that, you know, Obi-Wan
No,
saved
I
us
get what
through
you're
our
saying.
only
I'm
hope.
just-
That's the holocron.
I'm just being a dick.
Or it's the Treasure Planet map in that shitty space movie.
That's exactly what
It's
it is.
exact. Yeah, it's just a
Shitty
map of like,
space
oh my
movie.
god, here's where all the gold is in the whole universe.
God, it'd be so dope though.
Yeah,
Planet of gold.
yeah. But like, so I don't know. It kind of works for me. It kind of doesn't. I wish they wouldn't have had Vader. I feel like it was cool, but then it was like it
The
almost
only
just felt
emotional
like
connections were really between Sarah and
cool.
second sister anyway, so it's like the main character didn't really have anything. And then the guy, like they also kind of built up the captain's like gambling stuff. And then you go fight those like
Oh yeah,
bounty
let's talk
hunters
about
and,
that
like,
shit fucking
and that,
level.
That didn't even like pan out to be anything.
Dude, that level fucking... Okay, that's what... I was talking to you about this. I fucking hate that level because it doesn't make you have a good game when you throw more bosses at people.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that. I hate when they throw a tier of bosses and it's like wave. I hate that. It doesn't make it more challenging.
Yeah,
I mean, to an extent it kind of does,
annoying.
but I mean, it doesn't make it more fun. It doesn't make it fun for me. Like, if you're going to give me a boss battle, like, give me a Dark Souls style boss battle where I have to work for it between one person. And he's like, I have to be afraid. This one is just like, hey, we're going to throw more people at you. Oh, here's a spider.
Well,
Have fun with
and
an
then
elephant.
after you
You're
beat
like-
all those guys, you still just like only get the boss.
The bounty hunter,
guy.
who fucking sucks.
Yeah.
yeah.
You could just throw his rockets back at him and he just dies.
Did you guys get to fight the rest of the bounty hunters in your guys' game?
I did
Yeah.
see them and I killed one other pair and then I ran away from
So
the other one.
I got the glitch on that, which pissed me off. I fought two of them after that, and one of them I threw off. Well, no, it's a real thing. So they did a patch for it, and so I didn't get to fight any other ones. I fought two of the extra bounty hunters, but I didn't get to fight the other ones.
Two of them came and like tried to ambush me on Kashyyyk.
Yeah,
and I
those
just
are the two
ran
I
away
fought.
from them.
I threw the
And
guy
then
off.
I killed the other ones that were like outside of Dathomir.
Yeah, so I didn't get. They didn't show up for me.
Yeah, I got the trophy one when I was fighting one of them in the I can't remember what planet it is, but there's like a giant ship that wrecked, like a huge ship.
Oh, when you're on but you're still on Bogano.
Yeah.
No, not Bogano. That's the first planet, or that's the planet.
It's the one where you find like the starfighter on the ground. Too.
It's the Zepho
yeah,
planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. And I found him inside the big ship, and I just shoved him off the edge, and he
Dude,
died.
that's what I that's what I did to the purge troopers. They'd be like, "I've trained my whole life for this," and I'm like, just threw them off
they
my head.
fall. Like,
Yeah.
Fuck! Have fun, bitch. It's great. It's great.
Do you guys feel like it was set up for a sequel?
oh,
Yes,
definitely.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
See, it is
That's
an
what
EA it is
that
an
is what
EA
the
game.
game was
Yeah.
for, and
But
that's
so-
partially why I hate the story. Is because it's like they didn't
if they're
do
setting
anything,
up a
and they were like,
sequel, they could have made it to where the actions in the first one got Vader's attention, so you see him appear in the second one.
Right.
They didn't have to have Vader in the first
Yeah.
in the story. It sounds like
Vader's really cool, and like I said, it's always cool when he shows up. But it
Yeah.
felt like they were just like
It was
kind of
just-
shoehorned in.
It was
Yeah.
shoehorned. It was just
Yeah,
to get
it's like-
attention. It was
it's
just
like
it was
with-
just the shoehorning in a famous actor. Just to
yeah.
get people
You
to see a
remember
movie.
Force
Yeah.
Unleashed?
Except
Or
where
except
Vader
that
comes
Star
in,
Wars
but you're
wasn't a current
playing
fan.
as Vader.
See, and that's what I wanted.
And so
this
you-
one's so damn bad.
And like at the very beginning of
You're
Force Unleashed, you're
massacring
playing.
Wookiees?
Yeah, you're massacring not only Wookiees but your own fucking soldiers because you're like, hey, I don't want fucking anyone knowing I'm
well, that's
here.
what they said. Yeah, he's like eliminate everyone.
Yeah, so he fucking kills everyone in Force Unleashed as you play as him just to get this kid, so that you can train him to like kill the Emperor for you.
Dude,
Which is fucking awesome.
I gotta
Like
go
that's
back.
the kind of Vader that
Dude,
you want to
I
see.
haven't played
I
that in so
spent
long.
way too much time on the bridge
there's an achievement.
because
You got,
because
like,
the Wookiees keep running.
the thousand trophies.
The Wookiees keep
Yeah.
coming, and you can just force push the bridge, and it makes it do this little whip action, and it just flings Wookiees everywhere.
Yeah,
Raining Wookiees
yeah.
You get the
from a
it's
lacerated sky.
I laughed
rad.
so hard.
It's the boss trophy. I think is what you get, isn't it?
yeah.
It's too
No,
good.
no, that's the one for
Just
killing
the whole-
stormtroopers.
No, I
the
thought it was
Wookiee-
Wookiees because the Trandoshans and the Wookiees have like a rivalry.
Oh, you're right.
shot.
It's the
So you
worst
get-
day manager ever is the one for
Yeah.
the stormtroopers.
Dude. And I wish this game had more clever achievements, because like my favorite achievement from a Star Wars game is the DLC for Force Unleashed where you fight Boba Fett as a Sith version of yourself, because you throw his rocket back at him and kill him, and it's like the achievement is the quarterback is toast, and it's just I miss that stuff, dude. That tongue in cheek.
Force Unleashed is great.
Yeah, I played it on like the hardest difficulty because I wanted to get all the
So did I. I
trophies.
played as Jedi Master.
And so
or
I only
Grandmaster.
played like 3 levels and I couldn't play past it and I stopped playing. Greg, you own it though, don't you?
I think so. Yeah.
I'll have to borrow it again.
I have it for 362 if you want it. I just don't have a 360 that works.
Yeah, I don't either. It's because they
Or
don't
360
exist
at all.
Yeah,
They don't exist.
they all fried.
All right. So what would you guys give it for story?
I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it's passable. I think it's overall pretty decent. It serves the story. I don't like I don't like the Vader thing. I don't like that. You know, the one cool, really, really cool like Jedi that kind of turns evil. He doesn't really have much of a connection to you, because up until that point, he was just a wanderer, a random dude.
Yeah.
But he was really cool. But like at the same time, I wish there was some sort of like connection to your past somehow. I don't know how I would implement that, but make it meaningful that you're fighting him. You know.
You could add a flashback.
Yeah, like something where maybe he was one of the ones that like betrayed your master or something. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
he
know.
could have been on the ship with you. Like, yeah.
And then now you're like, you want to connect to this guy. You're like, oh my god, remember when we used to be bros? And then he's not anymore. And then you fight him. Like there could have been some
Or
more
even
meaning.
if like you had like heard of him before, he was a famous Jedi, and then because he turned, you're like, oh shit.
And then you found out that
because-
was him, and then you had to fight
Yeah,
him.
But who
because the Jedi Order would have been like meaningful to you, and if he was somebody you like had known of at least,
Right.
like it would have been more interesting.
The problem with that is
yeah.
like they killed all like the well-known ones in the movie.
true.
Like they
Yeah.
fucked them. Like
Even some not known, well-known ones in the fucking montage of death.
It could have
Yeah.
been like.
Yeah,
you
where's
know,
fucking Kit
BB
Fisto
class,
at?
like there
Just
have been
got his
rumors
head
about
laying
what
on
he
the
did
chancellor,
back
just
as a Jedi.
table.
Oh yeah, I heard about him doing the blah blah blah, and they could just inject that story there. They don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
rely on.
yeah, see, and they
a
could have done
movie.
that too if you would have found like the extra stuff you
Jedi.
find that like doesn't like move like plot points along and like talks
The
about the
hidden
older
items
shit
and stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
they could have done that with you like grabbing stuff, and it could have been like, oh hey, you remember him like training with you or something in the
Yeah,
temple. They really
or-
did. They
Yeah,
could have
yeah,
done that
that'd
a
be
lot.
cool.
Or you could have seen his descent, like through finding like the dead of the area.
That would have been sick
Dathomir.
too, because they give you that ability, and I don't think they used that to the best they could have.
Your
As
sense-
Force
Yeah,
Echo.
Yeah.
You're basically they're just collectibles, and they have no bearing on the
Yeah.
story,
I mean,
they're
which
sweet.
is really dumb.
I
Yeah,
thought
they're
they're
cool.
and it
but they
builds the
don't
world
have-
a little bit more. But you're right.
Yeah,
and they
don't
could have
do
been done
anything.
differently.
Most
and
games that have that, they have an element of story though.
Yeah.
Usually,
I mean, like, but it does. It has this element of story through the area you're in, and it
It's
explains what's
basically-
going on.
Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
some where it was like, oh, this was left behind by some of the stormtroopers,
I mean,
and they're
if
like,
you're gonna
hey,
make
you know,
Yeah.
fun of collectibles, should make fun of
If-
collectibles in the Drake series. Just fucking random pieces of treasure.
oh, I
Yeah,
mean, it's
like
a treasure
right next to
hunter.
the-
That at least makes sense.
yeah, but it's right next to a light that someone spent
Yeah.
5
I mean, the
minutes
s-
plugging
yeah,
in and
the
setting
spots-
up.
Found the $17,000 own. What
Yeah,
an
it's like
idiot!
you found a
Except, like,
fucking
the
gold
treasures
bowl
are just
next
like
to this
in
light.
random places. Just
I'll
like the
agree
most
that the
random places.
spots don't necessarily make sense, but I mean, at least what you're collecting does.
That's true.
It's like, why is there just this random treasure next to this wreck?
It's like, has no one looked over here ever? Like,
I know.
really? I mean, there's a fucking golden bowl here that someone ate grapes out of 10,000 years ago. Like, and there's a fucking industrial strength light, construction light right next to it. You didn't
They just
see
happen
the
to put it on
gold?
the top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, who the fuck are
This'll
these
make a
people?
really
Well, the
good,
most
like,
bullshit one is
mount.
like, you grabbed all the treasures, right?
Yeah.
You remember that one where you have to like swing up into like the ice what is it, the spike thing?
Yeah.
And you have to grab it off of that thing.
Yeah.
It's a very missable one.
Like, how did that not melt and fall to the ground?
Like, what is this?
How did it even freeze up there in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, did someone throw it and it flash froze into icicles?
It's just a game for collectibles.
Yeah.
But
You just can't
Anyway.
think about it is the thing.
what about you, Zach? What do you?
So I gotta do it unbiasedly because I do love Star Wars. I would give it a 7 as well. For the same reasons. Things were shoehorned in. I think it would have been really cool as a comic series. Like, I think if it would have been a comic series, I would have given it like a higher score. Like if I was reading it, opposed to playing it. Because you're right, it is. The gameplay is the basis of the game.
Yeah,
and
they're doing a lot to serve that more than the story
Right.
itself.
And I did enjoy it. I won't say I didn't enjoy it.
Because Disney didn't want them, because they're like canonizing it, I guess. They didn't want them adding too much story content that they could use for something else later.
Right. And I won't say I didn't like come home and just like
Which is
play
really
this
stupid.
free. This, I
Yeah.
played this game
Disney.
so much. Like I farmed a lot and like looked for like all the extra stuff.
Disney is killing Star Wars. I'm just gonna say that right now. They're fucking it up.
And the Mandalorian's great.
Well, I mean, the games wise, they don't have to be canon. They can just let them do what they did when there was like LucasArts was in charge. But no,
Force Unleashed
because
was
they're like,
canon.
well, it was until Disney took over.
God, dude.
It's not. It's not.
Wait,
canon
That's still a sore
anymore.
spot for me.
Is Bounty Hunter canon?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh, what? They even betrayed the bout?
Dude, everything that came before the Disney buyout is no longer canon.
Not everything.
They pick and choose like some things, but like 90% of it.
yeah,
Bounty Hunter's harmless. Like, why would you not have that canonized?
Because it's dumb.
See, and like playing as a Jedi is fun too, but I also would have liked when they Lucas. Oh, I can fucking talk. When LucasArts was gonna make the what is it? It was like level 1212 or whatever.
Yeah.
In Coruscant, where you were playing like a bounty hunter or you were playing like a smuggler. I want them to go back to stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Because like being a Jedi is fun, but like there's so much other stuff.
Did you
to
ever play Jedi Knight, like
Jedi Academy?
Jedi Outcast? Or,
Yeah.
Like, you don't get the lightsaber and force abilities until like halfway through the game. Like it's a first person shooter.
Yeah.
So it's like, they could do more.
See, when I played original Battlefront 2, the only time I would go Jedi is when I was losing badly, which almost never
Never
happened.
go full Jedi.
Otherwise, I'd be like a sniper or an assault guy, and that's it.
No, I feel you.
Yeah, I never played the Jedi.
And I wonder too, real quick, with story wise, EA didn't. I don't think EA wanted this game to do as well as it does because they want to do the loot box bullshit and they want to bleed you out. But as well, I wonder if it was
protect their precious story.
right, and I wonder if it was. It's more of like Disney and them like trying to like see if it's successful before doing it.
Something I could say 100% is Disney's fault, and this is a gameplay thing, since we're moving on to that, is the collectibles in this game are ass. Fucking
I love collecting
ass.
Yeah.
No, like I mean, like the cosmetic items that you pick up, they're
Agreed.
so fucking stupid.
They are. It's dumb. I
It's
hate it.
literally just color changes of your fucking poncho.
Yeah.
Your
Which
fucking,
I didn't wear.
Your,
I didn't wear the poncho. I thought the poncho
your
looked stupid.
BD unit, the ship that you spend 2 seconds on every like.
Every
No, agreed.
10
And those are-
hours.
And then fucking your just outfit, and then like it's like why? Like they could have had actual fucking cool skins. They could have
Exactly.
had like Force Unleashed had a shitload of that.
And his
but they were
costumes were
like,
dope.
well, Disney doesn't want you changing designs of things, so you can't have any
I
of that.
did
Agreed.
like changing the lightsaber. That was cool.
That was cool. The
The
lightsaber
light-
was the best
yeah.
collectible part.
That's the
And I
only
agree
thing
with
that's
that.
worth the
But see,
collecting
like,
of
I-
because you can actually see the difference.
No, right, but with you as well, you see the difference with BD as well with the color. But what I'm saying is, I'm
And the
I'm
poncho,
with
don't
you.
be gay.
I'm with you. I think that those like things to change color should have been there from the beginning. That shouldn't be a collectible. That should be up to you.
Yeah.
The collectibles could have been like different things, like different Jedi artifacts or even war artifacts.
Yeah. I there's a lot though. That's the kind of the problem. There's like so many in the game. There's
Yeah.
like hundreds and hundreds of collectibles, and like to get all the trophies, you got to get every one of them. It's like fuck.
Well, I mean, yeah, and the trophies are they're just dumb. I mean, well, not the trophies, but the collectibles are just dumb. Like, I have no motivation to go seek them out because I'm not going to use them because of how stupid.
So I
they
did.
are.
Yeah,
because I
it's
wanted
one of
more
those things
lightsaber
that you can't
pieces.
be bothered with.
Yeah, it's,
I did it for the trophy, and then I messed with the lightsaber to make it cool looking, and that's it.
See, I just wanted lightsaber parts. That's all I did them for.
I mean, it's really. I couldn't take it. Like, after having played other Star Wars games and stuff where they have like
Well,
the
Force
really
Unleashed, you
cool-
looked for crystals.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
and it was
you
sweet.
could change to your lightsaber that way, which would would have been cool in this, but like they had you change your lightsaber, and I understand that at least.
Yeah.
But Force Unleashed also had, you could be like Guy Threepwood from fucking like Monkey Island, and you had like your own Sith outfit and various other things like that you could like pick up and use, just in Force Unleashed, and then they give you collectibles in this, and it's like nothing.
Yo, I agree.
There's not even like, and then all the upgrades that you get for your character to like move around in. There's no, it's all BD's upgrades essentially. It's like you don't get any of that. You don't
Yeah.
use any of that for combat.
All you get is like skill points, like in Sekiro. It's like a weird. It's like they had a game. I think they had an adventure game, and then they saw Sekiro's success, and then they made it Sekiro last minute.
Yeah, that's what you guys keep
That's
saying.
seriously
Like,
what I think
about
happened.
it in the gameplay tries to make it like Sekiro.
Okay, so you have a parry system. It's
Yeah.
dog shit compared to Sekiro.
So the gameplay is exactly Sekiro, but the parrying is way slower.
Yeah, it's
and
weird.
the attack speed is way slower. So
and you
So
have
technically, it sounds like it should be a harder game than Sekiro.
it should be, but it isn't. It's weird.
they made it just like a normal game,
And you have
like it's-
difficulty
like
settings
it's some
too,
kind of
so-
hack and slash,
Right.
which it's totally not. And they force you to use, like the parries and everything. But like if you get like in a how if you were being attacked by multiple characters in Sekiro, you could just like parry all of them in quick succession. In this game, if you're being attacked by multiple dudes, you parry one of them. One of the other guys is going to immediately hit you afterwards, and you cannot
Yeah.
parry that guy because you cannot parry fast
It's
enough.
like a sloppy Sekiro, and it's so weird because the map is the same way. You'll find like shortcuts that you can access areas way faster by. You can find little
the map in this game is also ass.
yeah, the hollow map
point
is
that
dog
out.
shit. But what you can find is like there's little spots where you like sit down and you meditate and you go with the Force, and that's where you heal up and the enemies respawn.
And that's like if you die, that's immediately where you get put
They're
back.
100% the
And that's where you
bonfires.
level up, and you
Yeah.
have the level up trait, dude. It's weirdly Sekiro, but not. It's like so fucking bizarre. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they put it in last minute. I feel like they had an adventure game, and they're like, "Oh my god, Sekiro is so cool. Let's put in this like level system and these little save spots, these meditation points,
Man,
and
it's-
shortcuts."
I mean, it's a little faster Sekiro. How do we make it harder like that? What if we just slowed them way down?
yeah,
Dude.
it's weird.
Yeah, it's making it slower. You'd think they'd want it to be more methodical, kind of like Dark Souls would be.
Dark Souls is slow.
but it's
But it punishes you for being methodical as well.
Yeah, you can't be aggressive, and you can't also be methodical and defensive.
Well, that's the thing, dude, especially with Malicos, like what I actually did like too, I'll talk about this too, and for gameplay, a lot of the bosses do fight differently. Where it's like the second.
there's only like 4 of them.
Right, but I mean, like, Malicos is very force oriented, where you can't really use force on him.
Yeah,
And then there's a second sister where, like, she's just a tank. Or
Yeah.
ninth sister who's a
Ninth
tank.
Sisters. Yeah, she's a bitch.
Yeah,
Dude, it was so fun listening to you play.
God, dude, fucking Ninth Sister. I hated her. So
Is that
much.
the big
That's what we
chick?
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh really? What did you play on? I started on hard, and I was like, I can't play this.
I was
game
playing
on hard.
it on normal.
I played it on hard, and I kept dying, and the loading time was so fucking long that I was like, I can't do
I was
this.
getting more and more used to her, but at the same time, I kept like fucking up, or like she'd like tag me in some way, and I was like,
I played it on Grandmaster.
Oh, really? Could you play that from the beginning? Damn, dude.
I think so. Was that or Miss Master? No, because you can. Because Master is what they say they want. The original game should be played in. They said Masters, which is dumb. I feel because they give you 2 like Jedi Knight and then Padawan, but then it says Padawan Knight, Master, Grandmaster, and they're like, "Oh, Master is one you should be playing it on." And so I was like, "Well, I don't want that. Like, I want to go a little bit higher."
I couldn't play it, dude. The loading
I mean,
time
you're
was
technically
too...
still a Padawan because no one. Helped
Yeah,
you
you're still a
know.
Padawan, but you're
Yeah,
playing.
you weren't
Grandmaster.
knighted until almost at the end of the game.
well, didn't they have like a story mode where it was like
Yeah.
incredibly
Who
easy
knights you?
or something?
Seer.
Seer does.
Yeah,
She's
after
a
you
Jedi.
after you beat the game,
I don't
she's
know who
like,
Seer is.
She's the black chick that has the
Oh.
buggy eyes.
Yeah, the buggy eyes.
Where did she get her authority
She's
from?
a Jedi.
She's a
I
Jedi.
thought
Jedi
she,
Knight,
I
yeah.
thought she renounced all of it.
She did, yeah, which makes it so it's weird that she can do
Cameron.
that.
You gave her hope.
You're always a Jedi, though. Like,
She also
you're-
cut herself off from the Force like Luke did, but you know what? She didn't disappear after she used the Force. It's
yeah,
kind of
she
weird.
didn't Obi-Wan Kenobi it or Yoda it. She just stayed in.
Yeah, all it takes is a Jedi to make a Jedi. It's just like knighthood. It's like the same exact thing.
Yeah, which I thought was really dumb.
It
It's
kind
like,
of is, yeah.
You know, using a lightsaber in that way, it's like, that's really close.
Yeah, what
and
if
that
you-
lightsaber
right.
is going to be really hot.
But he also gets like stabbed through with the lightsaber, and he lives later. You remember that?
Yeah, but he doesn't...
Like, how ridiculous is that? That's supposed to kill you. Like, Jesus, Obi-Wan turned into a pile of clothes. Like, the fuck? Like, did he have his lightsaber on, like,
Funny
super
enough,
power?
Obi-Wan disappeared before he even got hit.
Funny enough,
Yeah.
the most accurate death by lightsaber, but not quite accurate, is the Obi-Wan death when he just fucking disappears.
Yeah.
In reality, you just explode.
Well, I mean, he disappeared before he got hit, so it was just like, ha-ha!
No, seriously, if you get hit by something that hot, you just turn into steam. You just explode.
So you think he pulled a Luke in Episode 8 where he just, like, became one with the Force and no longer had a physical manifestation in that moment?
I mean, pretty much.
Well,
That's exactly what happened.
is his Force really that strong, though? Because I always thought Obi-Wan
It wasn't.
was
Luke's one of the most powerful Jedi, and
thought-
it explains it.
Obi-Wan was, like, middling in combat
So
and
Luke
also...
is supposed to be the most powerful Jedi?
I wouldn't say most powerful. I said Anakin would have been the most powerful Jedi to ever
Okay.
exist.
Yeah, he's...
But he's still strong. Like there's
yeah,
still like.
he's pretty close to Anakin's
Yeah.
in power.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he is his
But
kid.
like again, like it's not necessarily about strength that you turn into a Force ghost. It's about learning how.
No, I just
Yeah.
like for someone who is extremely powerful in the Force, you don't see too many cool, powerful Force things from Luke.
Well, I mean, that's because, like...
They didn't have style points back then. That's all it is.
Yeah, I
You get a
mean,
triple
they
S
didn't
rating.
have the defined powers, and so, like, you were doing things based off of what you thought you could do. So, I mean, that's why they, like, in the old Star Wars games, like in Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, they had things like physical reinforcement, where you could, like, jump higher, do things like that, because you have the Force. Newer games and movies don't really show that off, but that's, like, what you can do with the Force.
That's
as well.
the hard thing with the ever-growing universe.
It's just supposed to be like what you thought you could do, like instead of just being like defined things.
Well, and that's one of the
which
things
is why it made Palpatine's like being able to shoot lightning was so interesting, because like Luke had no idea that was even possible.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems.
The only Force powers we knew of was what Luke knew.
Oh, and choking people from Vader and stuff.
Yeah,
That's one of the problems with an ever-evolving universe is, like, you have to keep upping the ante. But what happened with Superman comics back in the day is that he became so powerful that people got bored of it because he couldn't be stopped. And so they had to create a weakness, right? They had to create kryptonite because it's not interesting if somebody wins every single time. There's no story there. It's just good guys win, bad guys lose. And that's the problem with like a Star Wars universe is they have to keep updating it to make the stakes higher and higher and higher, and it makes the original stuff look like a joke in comparison, right? Because like it's like how could you stand against Force lightning when you were barely able to lift the
it was literally
X-wing.
killing Luke, which is why Vader had to step in because he was more resistant to it, both because he was a machine and because he had armor.
Right.
Yeah,
And it still killed him in the end because it leached his life. And that's what it does too. Is it can leach.
Yeah.
Or when Luke pulls off his fucking respirator and then he just suffocates to death.
Well, I mean, that's Vader, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he asked him to do it. It's not like he could have if he.
It was already his breathing apparatus was already messed up because of the lightning.
Yeah, he was
Like,
still
he was already
breathing.
dying.
He could have just
Hardly.
got a mechanic to work on.
Did you hear it? He was like when he was trying to breathe. It wasn't working.
I mean, you don't think they have a spare respirator for Vader?
I wouldn't. I'd be a
I mean,
dick.
how many fights?
How would
fights do you
you?
think you'd get in?
Why would he even need one?
Exactly, because his
No,
whole armor
have
too
it.
is he
No,
controls it himself for
he
the
would
most
have a
part.
spare respirator. I mean, he has this fucking little black egg.
He's
that
trying
he
to get
sits
away
in.
from you.
Black egg.
Yeah, his little black egg, and he probably has a ton of spare respirators.
So
in
fun
there.
fact, he actually, if you read the Vader comic, he fixes himself. Did you know that?
Yeah, well,
When he's like in his like back to tank, he just like meditates and he fixes his own armor like with the Force.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
fucking dope.
Yeah, so it's like when Luke pulled off his helmet, he killed his dad.
His dad wanted to die.
Yeah,
He has to.
he killed him.
Yeah.
It's assisted suicide, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Where does that line
euthanasia.
up in your Force good or evil thing?
I think it lines up just like that last movie where it's Luke is kind of like middling, because I think that's why he's wearing black in the beginning, because he goes into Jabba's palace and he starts killing people, and it's like, whoa, what's going on? And it's Luke embracing his dark side. No, he kills a bunch of guards and stuff when he goes into Jabba's palace. He's like taking people out, and he's like super dark seeming.
That's true, because the Gamorrean guard falls down the stairs.
Well, no, he doesn't kill them with the lightsaber, though.
He kills them with the Force. It doesn't really matter how you kill him. He's doing things that are weird for Luke, and it's kind of like it's playing with that a little bit. That balance, almost.
I like how how they've always made it work like a karma system. You have enough good karma, or if you do some bad things, but you do enough good stuff afterwards, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
the force is just this little karma meter where your slider goes back and forth.
The Force is like a political party. It's like, well, you messed up a little bit, but you voted for it.
Those people who killed didn't matter that much. So.
Yeah. They were only worth 5 points.
Does the Force also sell pardons for sins like the church used to?
Exactly, at the Catholic Church. Yeah, you could buy. I
gotta go buy a shit ton of those. I need all the help I can get.
I got an orgy on Saturday. I'm gonna pay for the orgy now in advance, so I don't get in trouble later. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Where's my IOU? Goddamn it!
Yeah. Get that orgy paid for. The gameplay is weird though. It's like it seems it wants to be Sekiro, but it's not as fast. It's not as precise.
It's a bunch of weird games.
It's
basically like Titanfall's. Running in.
Well, and it's got like Uncharted, when you're climbing and going through things.
And then it's got Sekiro's combat. So it's a Frankenstein's monster.
I mean, they took some really good games, and I just don't know if it necessarily all paid off.
It's a lot like fucking Horizon Zero Dawn that way, where that one's also a Frankenstein's monster, and they didn't do as well as the original games. Like it doesn't function as well together like that as it could have. And that's represented entirely by the fountain of glitches that happen in this game.
Yeah, I ran into 3 or 4 personally.
How many did you get? Any glitches while you were playing?
I didn't. No, not really. I mean, I had stuff for I don't know if they'd have been glitches or if I chalked them up to my fault, where I hit a wall or something. Or
did you fly
I
through
didn't
the
jump.
wall?
No, I never. Once I did once, but I fell through because I was trying to be a dick and I was trying to cheat it.
Okay, so. Fucking hell. Actually,
Schweiss,
you should go first, and then I'll explain all the glitches that I've had.
Were not intended to be played. He just puts
that is
in
not
places
true.
That no one else did before, because no one ever thought to do it like that.
Okay, so my glitches were mostly graphical glitches. Like I would be fighting somebody, and I would suddenly change my my y-axis, so I'd be up on a cliff, like a little ledge, and then I'd be below the ledge, and I'd be fighting someone that's above me, attacking from a point of a high point, even though I'm not physically touching them at all, but they're grabbing me, and it's one of the glitches.
Like the original Doom, where if they're in your sights, then you're able to hit them.
Kinda, but they're force choking me, like those robots when they were force choking you. In that video you posted, where it's it looked like a robot had grabbed you in midair. That's exactly what I was running into all the time. It was random little glitches based on where I was standing.
Yeah,
and that's almost it. And then sometimes I just couldn't jump far enough when I was doing the slidey platform things. It's no matter what I did, I would just have to die at least twice, and then I'd be able to suddenly I can jump.
I could never perfectly do any of those sliding things. There's one, I can't remember on which planet, but I would always get to the part where you have to jump, and I nearly made it. There was one that I swear to God I should have made, but he just flies through the edge of it instead. He would have landed on it, but he just falls through the map, and then I was okay, well, fuck you then.
Yeah,
but that happened a shitload.
I saw some of your videos, and I thought bounty to the max, dude. What you were running into, when you were trying to slide down that one platform, and
I was sliding on the side of the wall instead of on the thing itself.
I saw that, and I had it's my mind, my eyes rolled into the back of my head, and I just saw me try to play bounty on her, fuck, fuck, why did I die there?
It's the same shit. And I'm oh god, that's a dark place. Like, that place should never be visited again. That's exactly what I saw in your videos. When I looked at them yesterday, I was like, oh, God, no. No. It's like Star Wars. There's some bout to all Star Wars now.
Yeah, man. And then, like, I have it on one of the streams while I was streaming this game. It was, like, the first 7 minutes into the game, I found a glitch, and I was like, oh, that's good news. That's I feel good about the rest of this game.
Yeah,
because like you know the very beginning where you're like climbing up to the top of the thing to grab whatever for your boss, and you have to like rope swing onto the wall where it's like teaching you to rope swing and then grab onto the walls.
Yes,
yeah. I flew through that wall after I roped. Like it didn't let me grab onto it. It just like I flew through it. There was no grabbing or anything. I just flew through the map.
Oh, dude, there was another one at Dathomir. That's the place where you find the one, like, chick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know the first point when you run into, there's, like, a save spot, and then you run up, and there's, like, one physical guy, and then a bow guy, or a ranged guy there, and then a ranged guy behind you?
Mm-hmm.
I could, like, save my game, rest, and then, like, sprint up those stairs.
I know what you're talking about.
And,
exactly.
like, they would suddenly appear like out of nowhere, because they're supposed to be like running up right at the same time, and like, oh my god, there's a bad guy, and you're like, oh my god, there's bad guys, and then they fight. But if you save and then like sprint up the stairs super fast, you can get there, and then they just like slide into position, and you can just cut them down, like just straight up like slaughter.
Did you not capture that? I want to see. That
I think I did. Yeah,
you need to tweet that fucking slink that slide in position.
They're just like, and then I cut.
There's
the
a
fucking
lot of them
guy
sliding
out.
into place. I saw that a bunch too.
Yeah.
Like,
I need to see that. Please tweet it.
It's just like, where are these guys at? And then they're just like, they just fucking come into being from the left side of the screen.
What speed do they achieve in that slide?
They're going fast. I mean, you could see it. They're just like kind of like.
For me, some of them went into hyperspace, disappeared, and then just appeared where they were supposed to be.
Yeah, mine was always like they're like sliding and like they're slipping on something.
I had a couple of big bosses do that.
Slink.
Like the animals you were hunting that pissed me off.
Yeah. And then I had another one that I also tweeted out where I was like fighting somebody, like one of the twisted monsters on Dathomir, and then it just like I was like fucking floating in the air fighting the thing before I like fell again. You guys remember that one?
Yeah.
I was like guarding it, and then it was like fucking at an angle in the air fighting this thing, and I was like, how did it even achieve that?
Yeah, anytime you're like about to get grappled and you jump out of the way a little bit too late, it always looks fucked up. Like
it wasn't even that though. Like it was like I was literally guarding. It was like press square to like break free of their grapple, and then it's like, oh well, now I'm fighting this thing in the air.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird little ones.
It just sounds like this game was never polished. It was never went through that final round of code cleanup.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of like falling through maps and a bunch of that in this game.
But it's a lot like Dark Souls and Sekiro, and that's why I think you'd like it, Cameron, because you have a lot of exploration. You have like finding upgrades, finding new items, finding health increases, finding force power increases, force energy.
I would say it's more of like Dark Souls kind of gets it from
Castlevania,
the
and
Metroidvania
stuff.
thing, but they don't necessarily have the if you get new powers, then you can find a new shortcut or whatever. It's more like, you just go get a shortcut to this new spot. But this one is definitely like your new powers and upgrades get you the shortcuts and more exploration.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and you're right. I think Dark Souls really took that from the Metroidvania kind of games. But this game is a pretty good version of that, even if it's like a light version of that. And like I swear to God, they saw Sekiro and they like last minute like tossed in a bunch of Sekiro light items. It's like, let's just capitalize on Sekiro with lightsabers, so it'll be cooler. I
kind of wish they did that more, though.
I wish the parrying was as perfect as Sekiro's.
I have mixed feelings about the way that it plays in that regard, because like for me, when you're playing as a Jedi, I always kind of want it to be more like, Force Unleashed, where it's a bit of a power fantasy game, because like you have a shitload of force powers that are possible that you could just mess around with, but they don't really explore that.
Little Caleb really likes to do his squats,
especially in this game, where the only 3 force powers you really get are push, pull, and slow down time, which I mean, that slowdown time is cool, but in combat, the other two are much more useful.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, you can decide what's more powerful while you're like leveling up though as well. You
I mean,
don't
yeah,
have
you
to do
can, but I don't
Like
know.
that opens up 2 to more force abilities though in other games. If
Yeah,
you do a sequel.
but I wish they would, because I mean, you only get like 3, and then like you have a limited amount of uses per battle until you like either use an item for it or you beat the shit out of them until you get enough force to use another ability. Which I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. I do like the idea of a Sekiro style combat for lightsaber fights. But as far as force powers go, I much prefer like the power fantasy style. Like, if it was more of a hack and slash. I
If
feel
it was
like
more like
that would fit more than what we got.
if it was more like Star Wars.
Plus, they didn't have enough bosses to justify the Sekiro dueling style
yeah.
Agreed.
thing.
Because like some of the bosses, like you'd find the giant spider, and it's only a little bit harder than the other spiders.
Right.
It's like you need
I mean,
you need
the-
like
the
30
only-
bosses in there to make it like
the only
feel.
actual bosses in there was the giant bat you fought on Dathomir,
That was fun.
Yeah,
fucking Malicos,
And
Ninth
Second
Sister,
Sister.
and then
Second
Second
Sister,
Sister.
yeah.
And you fight Second Sister like 4 times.
because those are the only unique boss fights. The other ones are like altered
just sounds
versions
like-
of.
Well, and it's like the ATST2 where it's like, oh, hey, it's a boss,
Yeah.
and then you run into him at the regular, and you're like,
and then you fight them all the time. Yeah, that's
Ninth
right.
Sister and Second Sister just sound like crappy folklore, folk bands.
See, and the thing about Ninth Sister and
Mumford
Second
and
Sister,
Sons for females.
Mumford and Sons and Night Sister are like at at the venue this week. You want to go?
yeah,
Want to go smoke
It's
some
like,
weed and watch?
no, the fuck, no, I don't actually. I'm sorry.
You know,
I'm busy.
and the thing about Ninth Sister and Second Sister, like when you're fighting them, is like up until the very last fight with Second Sister, their fighting styles are the exact same.
And then she fucks you up.
And
with
then
the
she
last one.
changes it completely.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, I've just been fighting the Ninth Sister the whole time. So really, all the fights with Second Sister have been challenging me for this fight. And then it's like, okay, well, then I'll beat Second Sister really easily. And then she's like, haha, no, you won't.
well, she was toying me through the whole game, like, and she says it as well.
I mean, yeah,
She's
but
just
like her whole fighting style gets completely changed. I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah.
At least some of the moves should have been the same, since like they're trained to be like fighting the same things, like,
Right. That's
yeah.
fair.
and they
one,
have the same weapon.
one thing I really liked about the gameplay, though, I like the castle, the Metroidvania aspect. Like, you gain new abilities, and then you think back to like, oh shit, there was that one chest that I couldn't get to.
Yeah, it's
but
like
now I can
now
slow
it
down
can force
time.
push the bridge.
Yeah,
and-
or I can force push the bridge, and I can get over to that area, and then you remember that, and you go back and you explore those areas, and it's
and
really
it's like, or now I
rewarding.
have that BD ability to like slide up cables.
Yeah,
instead
and
of
you're
just
like,
down
oh, I know
cables.
that chest and that next to that giant spider that I tried to get for like 10 minutes. Now I can
Me
get
too.
it.
I was swearing.
And
Yeah,
then,
I was
you-
like,
and then
what
you
the
actually
What am I
go.
supposed to do?
And then you actually
Yeah.
go to the chest, and it's like, hey, here's this slightly different colored poncho.
Here's
a pink
fuck
poncho.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
like,
the rewards,
no, thank you.
the rewards are fucking not worth it.
And there's hundreds, dude. There are so many.
Yeah.
It's like the chests. All they have is random little
Dude, you
aesthetic
never get
upgrades.
any of like the lightsaber pieces that whole time. I actually like started looking for like all those things.
That's what I was looking for.
I didn't get any of them. I
Really?
got like maybe 10 total of like the 30 or so pieces you can find.
of the lightsaber parts.
Yeah.
Oh, I found a bunch of them.
And I was looking. So I'm like, okay.
I made
that's
mine
just-
look pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I think I made mine cool too.
It's like it's cool, but
I
then
got
you almost
2
don't even notice.
sets from the premium thing.
Yeah, I got a few. Yeah.
Which also the premium bonus is kind of just stupid.
I don't think I got the premium, but I got the.
It was the pre-order bonus
The day
for
one,
me.
yeah, pre-order bonus, yeah, because
Yeah.
day one edition gave you the orange.
And
crystal.
it gave you like 2 lightsabers.
It's funny because I didn't do that. I don't know how they gave me that. I didn't buy it day one.
They always say that,
They
though.
added those things into a patch.
Okay.
Right when you played it, basically.
I was like, I got this for Christmas. It wasn't premium. It was like a
Uh,
month later, a month and a half after it came out.
yeah, basically it was just like everybody who pre-ordered it got it like sooner than
Oh, gotcha.
everybody else would.
It's weird that only
Yeah,
like a month and a
pretty
half
much.
difference, and then I have it. It's like, thanks. Like, fuck you guys.
Well, at least they didn't charge people money. They just added it into.
Oh,
a
they
patch.
could have. It's EA.
That was that's a
I
very
know,
un-EA thing to do.
It was a very surprising EA move.
They were looking at the stock and they were like, "Yeah, it's gotten up enough today. We're okay."
It's
So
probably
let's just
because they
release it
weren't
for free.
planning on doing actual DLC for it, so they're like, better not.
Yeah. They better leave it pure.
Because the
People
only
don't
real
pay for
DLC they have
DLC
for it is
anymore.
like
We're
that
not gonna make
that
it.
$10 upgrade to the deluxe edition, which I think only adds basically the soundtrack or something.
Which is fine, but it's...
Does it at least give you the orange lightsaber?
I mean, you get the orange
You get the
lightsaber
orange
from the
lightsaber,
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
you
played it
get
right
it.
now, you could just play it because they added that into a patch.
Yeah, if
Oh.
I loan it to you, you'd have it. That's what I use most of the game, too. I
Yeah,
use
the orange one is fucking sweet, and then I changed it to yellow.
Yeah, I'd probably be orange. So what'd you guys give gameplay?
I give it a 6 again because it is riddled with fucking glitches, which
Yeah, that
is fucking
That big old pop. Okay.
it's fucking horrible that it was released that way. I would
again,
give
not
it
surprising.
I would give it a lesser score if it impacted gameplay more than it did.
It kind of doesn't, though.
It's it's mostly just nothing, but it is. I mean, they're funny, but yeah, it's mostly nothing glitches, but still, like, they exist. And then also, I feel like a lot of the gameplay conflicts with what the game is sometimes. Like the lack of bosses kind of like defeats the purpose of the dueling ability.
Yeah.
And then like I just don't like the way they did the Force in combat.
Well, it's so easy to negate the Force. It looks like too.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean,
it was
that's-
way
that's-
too easy.
that's
Like
canon, though.
if
I
you
mean-
pushed like the dudes out, they would just stab their thing into the ground and be like, "Haha, you didn't push me at all."
Right.
And but like they're not resistant at all to Force pull. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well then
Or
what's the
slow
fucking
down.
point?
Like if you get the second, like the Night Sister, you just freeze.
Yeah,
her
and if
you
you
just
slow
do
them, if you slow them down, you only get like one free hit, and then it doesn't
You could
actually
get-
kill them because
you
it's-
could get 3
they-
on the
They're
masses.
resistant to the lightsaber,
And the parrying, it's like you can parry just like in Sekiro, Cameron. Like
but you
there's
don't.
a lot.
But you don't get like anything beneficial out of
You
it. You're
get, like,
basically
No,
two
you
or-
do.
it's
You break
basically
their
like
stance.
plot.
You can break their stance.
You can,
have
but
a
you
chance.
get like
can-
2 or 3 hits. Whereas in
Right.
Sekiro, when you fully break their stance, you get an assassination.
Yeah.
You kill an entire health bar. And here it's like you break it, and then you get like hit, and then they're like 80% health, and then they go back to defending, and their
Yeah,
stance bar is
that-
max. And it's like I might as
that
well
only-
just slow you down and
that
hit
only
you for
really works
damage.
for like fighting bosses. For everybody
Yeah.
else, it's much more effective to just like either force pull them off the edge
Well,
or
yeah.
just ignore them.
As well, like stormtroopers are a one-hit kill.
Yeah,
Like-
if you, especially once you get the parry down on the guys with the shock sticks,
Yeah, and those weren't hard. I didn't find it hard to parry them at all from the beginning either.
you just one shot them. You parry
Yeah.
them perfectly, and then you cut them down.
fucking
like-
Disney though, not letting you chop people up pisses me off.
Yeah.
They're like, no, they're okay.
I like how they loved the idea of episode 7. That guy with the fucking. There's that meme where like everyone's like, "Fuck the new like bounty hunter chick. Well, this guy's the badass," and it's the guy with the shock stick that took on.
Oh, yeah.
Rey. He like fucked her up.
Yeah.
That they truly embraced that in this game. They're like everyone's
Yeah,
got
they
the
even
shock
called
stick.
that guy. They even
You
gave
like
that guy
shock
my name.
sticks.
It's like traitor or something. It's like T8R or something.
No, yeah. So he just screams out the traitor. And so they call him what they call him, defender of the something. I can't remember.
Yeah, that guy's they love that guy in this game.
Purge troopers could be really annoying though. I felt like
The only ones that I felt were super annoying were the flamethrower troopers, and there's only like 2 of them in the game.
The purge ones can fuck you up because they go real fast.
yeah. See, the purge with me, like the worst ones were the ones with the staffs. They
Yeah.
pissed me off the most. But if it's a guns, I'm just like.
And that's
force
how
it.
Sekiro
Fuck
was.
you.
Like anyone with the really ranged
Yeah,
stuff.
some people
would
said
fuck
that
me.
traitor
Yeah.
dude became the new Boba Fett just from that scene.
yeah. Yeah, like everyone was like, "Fuck Phasma, this guy's the badass." He's like, "Bring it on, motherfucker!"
He beats the shit out of Finn. Yeah.
Now look at this. Oh man.
yeah,
No,
Oh,
the movie.
it's Hot Toys.
Yeah, movie poster is Finn and First Order Riot Control Stormtrooper.
So that was a 2-pack you could
Yeah.
buy. It's dope.
That's awesome. I want that.
My buddy bought the actual like the shock stick. Someone was
really?
someone's like, "Oh, I'm selling it for $25." Like, fucking sold.
yeah, those things are sweet.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. It's Boba Fett is I only need 5 lines, and then the traitor dudes I only need 1.
Yeah, it's seriously though. I was like, man, that guy was so cool. He fucking like took him on with a lightsaber. He's like, bring it on, you little fuck. All right, so for me, I'd probably give gameplay a 7 again. I think it is a pretty fun game. I like going back and grabbing all the collectibles. I've had fun with it. I want to get the I want to get the platinum. It's going to be kind of a grind, though. There's a lot of stuff to pick out. I've got the terrarium. I'm like kind of working through each area.
I only found one of the seeds.
Really?
No.
Seriously?
I found two, actually.
Dude, I found
Yeah,
all
yeah.
but one by just playing the game.
Really?
Yeah,
I
my
couldn't find
terrarium's
any of
full.
them. I was looking, too.
That's weird. Yeah, I had to go back and get the stuff that looks like chives. Or like onion coming out of the ground.
What
you know?
planet was that on?
I think it was.
Oh, is it the one that's like kind of curls a little bit, the kelpie or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, that one's on Bogano.
Yeah.
That's one of the first ones I found. Because you just explore. If you just explore, you find them.
Yeah, I only missed one throughout the playthrough. I beat the game and I was like, all right, how many do I need? And I looked at the video and I was like, oh, I only need one. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And I killed the stormtrooper or the bounty hunters, and I killed the unique monsters too.
I did the monsters as well.
Those were pretty cool.
And I wanted the bounty hunters, but I only couldn't do it because of the glitch. And I guess it wasn't a glitch that everyone had by what I was reading too. It was only
And they patched it later. You
they
said?
did patch it. Yeah, it's been patched.
It's funny because I killed the droid through like actual physical combat in the last one, and then I just force pushed the other guy off the ledge.
That's what I did in
The-
Kashyyyk, yeah.
into the electric field. I was like, sweet trophy. They're all dead now. I like it though. I think it's a fun game. I think there are flaws. I think the combat. I like Sekiro's more. It's a little more precise. It's a little more like perfect. And kind of the Sekiro aspect of this, the Souls aspect, kind of does seem sort of tossed in as an afterthought, but it kind of works for the most part with the gameplay. And I did get the timing down pretty well, but it is like the timing window. It feels really big, but it's also
really
not.
not, yeah.
It's like really not big. It's just wrong for Sekiro players. It's like it's
They also don't like tell you where the timing is, which really threw
No,
me
you're
off
right.
for
It,
a
does,
while.
it doesn't.
Because like at the
Yeah.
very beginning of Sekiro, it's like, all right, this is when you fucking need to parry, and I was like, oh, okay. And then in this game, it's like, just figure it out.
yeah.
which is very Dark Souls.
And you
Dark
have to
Souls,
figure it
more
out.
Yeah, that's very Dark Souls.
You have
yeah.
to figure it out for like each of the enemies too, and it's
Yeah.
very,
See, but
very different.
I had fun with that. I personally enjoyed that.
It's weird though because it's easy at
That
the
was a
same
drop
time.
the mic
though.
moment.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are like really close to when you get hit, and then some of them are like you can parry the fucking blasters like halfway before they reach you. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
okay, then where the fuck is the timing on this?
Do you not get like that lightsaber twirl to deflect the blaster shots?
No,
you
you
can
do.
if you like hold the guard down, but
Or
if
as
you
you're-
want to
there's
if you
a-
want to reflect it back at them, you have to
Yeah.
parry the blast.
If you want to just like do that, there is an upgrade you can choose.
Yeah,
know,
you can
tree.
if you're
And
like
so while
running
you're, like,
along,
running
then
back,
they'll just automatically do it.
Yeah, you'll reflect, but you won't parry back at them.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
parrying back at them, like Craig said, there's like seconds worth of time where you can hit it and you'll bounce it back every time.
Yeah,
but like
it's
when
fucking
someone's
dumb.
smacking you, sometimes you got to do it a little early. Sometimes you got to do it right as it hits you. Sometimes like it almost feels like
There are also
after.
some blasts that you like, some attacks where you can't do that, which I thought was really fucking
just
dumb.
like Sekiro where they do the red attacks where
Yeah.
they swing
Those
at you
just,
and
like
you can't
break,
block.
Yeah, you can't block it. You have to dodge away.
But there's no jumping and no like, you know how in Sekiro where there's the ability to jump on their head
Yeah.
and like stagger them that way. There's none of that, and there's also no like
Yeah, there's no true
Makiri-
counterings and
Makiri counter.
Yeah, there's
so
none of
it's
that either.
Carry counter, baby.
it's almost perfect, but like nothing can touch the Sekiro right
No,
now.
and that's true because Sekiro didn't Sekiro win Game of the Year last year?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
man, like you're not gonna beat it.
It's perfect combat, and this game toys with it a little bit, and it works for the most part, but it just makes me want to play Sekiro again. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I want to put this down and play Sekiro again. I want to get that alternate ending
I
where
want
I
to play
obey the
Sekiro
Shinobi
again as
code.
well, but I have to beat Dark Souls first.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2.
You got only one more
That's
Souls.
the last Souls game I have.
Yeah.
Well,
Except
you
for
got
Demon.
Yeah, you didn't play Demon Souls.
But it's not part of the same
Yes,
series.
it is.
Yes, it is.
It's a spiritual.
that's extra- it's
Dark Souls is
extracurricular.
a spiritual successor.
No,
That's
that
it
is
is.
If they
extra
count-
credit.
That's
If-
new spring
No,
for
It's
the
a-
Cam. If they count Bloodborne, then they have to count Demon Souls.
That's like new spring for Wheel
You
of
have to
Time.
play Demon Souls, dude.
Demon Souls spawned Dark Souls and also Bloodborne.
and Sekiro.
Yeah,
If we're going
it
by that.
has to be
and
part
Jedi
of
Fallen
that.
Order.
But
So,
are you
know,
gonna go? Are you gonna go beyond that though? Are you gonna go the other Souls?
Are you gonna go full retard?
the games like before that that were
Kingdom, whatever.
Kingdom, whatever the fuck, Kingdom Come or whatever.
Well, that one, they're not like the Souls games. I don't know why would you even say that.
Well, they
Just
are
saying, when does
spiritual
it
successors.
when does it end? You know how
They
They're
are
not
related.
spiritual successors in any
They
way.
are related. Go look it up.
No, they're not. I did look it up. I did the fucking research on this company and all their
look it
fucking
up.
games. That game, Cam, is essentially a harder version of Elder Scrolls 2. All right? So fuck off. I know what I'm talking about.
So-
it's not a Souls game. It started with Demon Souls and then onwards. All right? That is it.
All
That is
right.
the fucking little contingent little world that you have. That is all the Souls.
I was just wondering how far back it goes. Like, when will Cameron be accepted as completing all of them?
And when he beats Demon.
Are you gonna raise the bar though, when that happens, or is that it?
No, I
No,
feel
I
like
mean
that's,
he can.
That's
If
his
he
hero's
wants to,
quest.
he can go beat
That's
the
his hero's
fucking
journey.
like the copies, like the Surge and the
or like
the
Neo 1 and
Neo,
2.
yeah, and then what's that other
Vampire.
one? Fallen Kingdom, I think is one of them.
Vampire, like his Dark Souls game.
Kingfields.
Oh, he can play.
No,
he can
it's
play the wife
The
Souls. Wife
wait,
Souls.
wait. Here, I'm reading.
Code
I'm reading
Vein.
this straight from
That plays just like a Dark Souls game.
the
Wait, which one?
Kings-
Code Vein.
The Kingsfield
Oh yeah,
series.
that would be one.
Also developed by From Software, is considered a spiritual predecessor to the Souls series.
Yeah, by fucking morons who don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, are these the same people that say you beat Shadow of War? Or are they the same people that justify? Yeah. So what is it, Craig? It's the internet. That was your claim that you beat the game. Is that the internet said that the developer's version of the ending didn't count? So you
The
claimed
developer's
it was
version
done.
of the game.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
part
There's no
where you get a
developers.
final-
There's no developers ending.
The
in
part where
Shadow
you
of
get a
War.
final cutscene in the credits. That's
Oh,
usually.
you mean like the fucking hidden endings in almost every old game? Are you talking about that, Schweiss?
No.
Are you saying that we didn't actually beat Parasite Eve until we beat the fucking Chrysler building and got that fucking cutscene?
technically
Is
you-
that what you're fucking saying?
technically
Are
you-
you saying that we didn't beat fucking like any other game because we didn't get the hidden cutscene? We
didn't
didn't
get the-
actually beat fucking Kingdom Hearts because we didn't fucking do every little thing to get a 10-second cutscene?
You didn't beat
Are you
Nier
sure that we
Automata because you
didn't
didn't get 26
are
endings.
you
on
sure
that.
you didn't beat? Are you sure you beat fucking? Fucking. God damn it! The Dirge of Cerberus. Because you got. Did you get the fucking little cutscene with the fucking Genesis?
I
did
did,
ya?
I
did you
did.
fucking get that, Schweiss? Did you actually beat the game? Did you get every little cutscene that matters? Did you watch every little thing? Huh? Did you? Did you
know-
get every goddamn gold thing in Burnout? The one we played, huh? Did you get credits in that one,
Hey.
Schweiss? Did you view every cutscene possible, huh? Did you beat the game?
You know, with Dirge, I think I actually did get the Genesis ending. It doesn't deserve it, but I actually think I did. All right,
This
fine.
has been brought to you by Raid Shadow.
Rage.
This is
Shadow
brought to you
Legends.
by the Shadow Wars Rage Edition. This game we did beat though. There's no question.
There was only one ending in this game, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, there's no question.
Jake says you didn't get it. He says you gave up on the capsules.
Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, maybe I did.
So which one is it?
There was one that there's a different ending for beating it on hard though, I think, and I got that one. It's not a hard game though. It's not. It's like hard is just dumb. You just take massive damage, so you have to cheese it, rip the game off, shoot around corners that you shouldn't actually be able to kill people from because it's third person. All right, fine. Who
All
hasn't?
right, what about you, Zach? What'd you give gameplay?
I'd give it 7 as well for the exact same reason Schweiss did. I liked looking for the collectibles, even though they give you shit. I liked
Non-collectibles.
But whatever. I mean, like if you found the echo things, it was sweet because it did give you.
those
that
were
was what I liked.
those were more interesting, but like they're actual rewards, like things that
Right.
you can use
But again-
in game.
No, I feel you. But as well, like in some of the other collectibles in like Force Unleashed was like artwork and stuff. It's
mean,
what you
yeah.
found, and I kind of miss those days. I miss finding that kind of stuff. I thought it was fun.
It's
and that's the
classic,
reason
yeah.
I found them all in Force Unleashed. So not only did I want all the crystals, but I wanted all the artwork too because it was cool.
Bounty Hunter does that too. I mean, it's
Bounty
just-
Hunter does do
It's
that
the old
too.
Star Wars stuff. I mean, that's what it is. But yeah, 7 for the exact same reason. I think it was
Dude,
fun.
fucking
I
50
enjoyed playing
Cent
it.
had better collectibles in this game.
Well, he can afford it.
Yeah, the game shit sells. Remember?
Oh my god.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved playing it. Like, I mean, half the time we were online, I wouldn't play with you guys because I was playing Star Wars because I was trying to find everything. So
Yeah, and you got to
I mean-
stay out of a party because can't
Yeah.
have them interfering.
yeah, I can't have you guys messing up my fun time.
So graphics and design. I think this game looks pretty good. Most of the
It does
time.
look good,
Most of the time.
except for main character models.
Their face models look really disturbing.
Yeah, the worst example is when you go back to one of his visions of the past, and it's literally just his actual face put on a tinier body. They didn't even try to make him look younger. They just took that face
And
and put
shrunk
it
it.
on a tiny body.
Yeah, it's that's not how people grow up.
That's not how people age.
Your head gets bigger and shit.
Dermatologist hates him.
Yeah,
no shit.
read number 6 to find out why.
He's got the fucking facial structure of a much older man.
Dermatologists hate him. Fucking clickbait bullshit Star Wars game. Yeah, it is weird. And then the animations, the one chick from Dathomir will be who should be smiling at me, and then instantly later deadpan, just nothing left, and it's really, if you really watch it, it's very, very jarring. It's if you thought Horizon Zero Dawn was jarring, this is way more than that to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but the game does look pretty good. I like the areas, I like the design a lot.
But every level, even though you're essentially climbing and exploring, they all look different.
Yeah.
And they did a good job with that, with keeping the planet separated as well.
Very separate, yeah. They're very distinct feeling areas, and the designs I think all work really well.
Oh yeah, and the creatures were
mean-
sweet too. All the creatures looked cool. They looked very Star Warsy and very could be in this area.
Yeah,
I thought
the holomap design was really shitty, and
Agreed.
it kind of made exploring a pain in the dick.
Impossible almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't do a lot of exploring. Only
I just said,
I
"Fuck
watched.
it," and just went,
I had to watch a guide so I could see where to get the fucking the little health things at.
Oh yeah, I did for the
Um,
last 2. I found all the other ones on my own, but the
Dude,
last
I
2,
went-
I was just
I spent literally the entire game with only 3.
And it made me miss Sekiro because I was I wish I could just fight a regular one skull boss to get this health upgrade, but I got to find it in this bullshit area instead. I kind of want the guy with 2 health bars to give me the health increase, but I can't. It's
that'd be pretty sweet. And
Yeah.
I wonder if that's something they'll take into consideration with the next game, if they're going to go more Sekiro with it.
I kind of hope so because I like those mechanics a lot. But in here, it's just get to this bullshit area.
It would be interesting if they went more Force Unleashed with it too, where you choose what Force abilities you want to upgrade.
Yeah, it's like God of War. You have the souls, and it's
I kind of wish they
you
would just
buy.
pick and choose which game it's going to try and be instead of being the 7 games.
Yeah, it's
that
like an
it is.
amalgamation of a ton of games. Yeah, it's weird.
Whether it's going to be Sekiro, whether it's going to be a Metroidvania game, whether it's going to be an adventure game. It's got to choose because it's the mishmash.
Yeah,
That's
and the thing with that, I was saying earlier, is this seems like it's a very, we're gonna put our toes in the water and we're gonna see what it does. We're gonna see how it feels, and then we'll decide.
Yeah.
Which is a very EA and Disney thing to do.
It is. Yeah, it really
just kind of
is.
feels like a disappointment because I have played a little bit of Titanfall, and I do like the way that game plays.
Right.
And this does not feel like that.
Yeah. But it does. It's like it made me want to play Sekiro, and it made me want to play Prince of Persia again. I was like, oh, wall running.
God, dude!
It's I miss these games. I wish Assassin's Creed wasn't such a success, or else we'd have more Prince of Persia games. But Ubisoft is fuck it, we're just gonna do this.
Play
It's
some
true.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
Can you wall run in
it's,
Assassin's Creed? I've played any of the new ones. I stopped after 3 or 2.
Stopped after 2.
I think
Yeah, I stopped after 2. No,
some
yeah.
you can.
I played 2 a
That's
year
you.
ago too. Fucking A.
that I think Odyssey is currently on sale.
I want to play that, and I want to because I guess
It's
the
an
new one's
RPG.
is called Ragnarok or something like that. It's
Yeah,
more
Odyssey
Viking-esque, and I want to.
not a fun-looking game.
What?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey is not a fun-looking game.
See, but I've heard people love it.
It's a fun game.
I've heard people absolutely love it.
It's an
I watched. I
it's-
watched someone play it,
Oh,
and it was
yeah.
painful for me.
You don't want to climb a key.
Well, it's because
walk and play.
Cam wants to play like a game where you can actually assassinate people, and
Yes,
you can't in that
that's
game because
that's the whole point.
You
of
can't
Assassin's
assassinate people in Assassin's
Creed.
Creed
You
Odyssey.
assassinate.
It is the
Why
first
are people?
So let me
Why are people
let
back
me
in the
explain.
BCs all of a sudden like
It's an RPG Creed.
weapons hunters?
it's yeah,
I had a flak
they made
vest
it-
on,
Why do they
bitch.
have
They
health
made it.
bars?
They made it
That's
an
true.
action RPG, and so they kind of fucked the
that
ability
was
to
Ubisoft,
assassinate.
you're an asshole. How did you
That
take the
was-
assassinate out of Assassin's
You can
Creed?
assassinate a lot of enemies, but like anyone that has like it's supposed to be tougher, you have to two-shot.
That is
All
the
the time.
coolest thing about Assassin's Creed 1. I only got hit by the guy, the second to last boss once, and then I assassinated him with the counter, and the final boss never touched me. I had the 5-minute cutscene with him where he's like, I'm the bad guy. I've been the bad guy the whole
I've
time.
got the apple, bitch.
Yeah, and then he like charges at you, and I fucking knocked it away, and I assassinated him. The game was over, and that was fucking crazy. I was like, "Oh my god!" I one-shot the final boss. He didn't even touch me. And
Yeah.
now, ever since then, it's like, nope, can't do that. Can't assassinate. And I'm like, that was the cool thing. Like,
Yeah.
have hard bullshit on the side, but like, you can
You
still
could do that.
assassinate.
You could do that in 2, couldn't you? Because even 2.
No, the
when did
final
they-
boss in
you
2
can't,
is like
yeah.
that Borgia guy, and he has the
it's been a
apple
long-
the
it's been
whole
a long
time.
time.
And because of that, he has like multiple
Yeah.
health
It's
bits.
been a
so
long
you,
time,
you
man.
have to actually sword fight him.
That's
But
why it was a
everybody
betrayal.
else you can assassinate.
It's sword fight
including like his
Creed.
other family. But he is a final boss, so they're
You
like,
make
well,
a
let's give
game
him actual
to
health
where you
this time.
feel your own humanity. Like, you know, people have swords and they hurt. Like,
Yeah,
you're gonna die
yeah.
if you get hit too many times.
I
But
think
then it's the same is true when you fight other people. Like, it don't take much to kill anyone.
yeah, yeah.
That is the Assassin's Creed I remember. and
It's
love.
it's DMC on Hell and Hell, where everyone's
Yeah.
super weak, even you, and you. It's like important that you land these hits. But like the only one that did that was the first game, and the first game, like, it
Dude, if
really
I'm gonna
isn't
The
that
second
great.
game did it too, except for the final boss in it is.
If I'm
they
going to
made him a
assassinate
final
people, though,
boss.
I'm going to play like Dishonored or something.
Yeah,
Where like
yeah.
it actually
Dishonored,
counts.
sweet.
I love it though because Cody was watching me and he had serious problems with Assassin's Creed 1. Our buddy, someone we know, Cody, and
good.
yeah, and he saw me. He beat it like the day before, and he came over and he saw me assassinate the last guy. He was so mad. He's like, "What? You could just kill him?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro. This is Assassin's Creed, not
I
throwing."
did what the game's called.
I didn't. It's not throwing knife Creed. Like slowly kill him over time. It's kill his ass right when he comes for you.
I did the name of the game. I did the name of the game.
Yeah.
Instead of saying the name of the game.
Creed.
Yeah, you do the game. Yeah.
This is the Assassin's Creed, bitch.
Look at the
Dude, that's my biggest complaint about fucking Assassin's Creed Origins. Like, they start fucking talking about the Creed all the time. Like, at the very end, I'm like, oh my god, I know what you're doing.
I played this game. I know the Creed.
Yeah, like, they're like, oh, this is how this symbol happened, and this is this. This is like, they just really went ham with it.
Yeah.
I heard
We're
Origins
making
was,
the thing.
Was Origins fun though? Because I've heard it. Was
Origins
fun.
is pretty fucking
but
sweet.
I've never played it.
And Bayek is an awesome character.
But I'm looking forward to the next one because it's Ragnarok, and I like my Viking shit.
I don't
Yeah.
mind the what they did with the gameplay, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of want to just assassinate people. Again.
I think you'd like
but
Final
it
Fantasy.
is a fun game.
There's a lot of like
But it's
Viking.
no longer
Oh, dude, I'm so
enemies.
excited for 7.
the Assassin's Creed. Like, it's
It-
a
no, it's-
completely different game.
Yeah,
It's completely different. You'd like it for different reasons. I watched someone play it, and it was stupid. It was just hacking at a character over and over and over again until you got a slightly better sword that could kill him in less hits.
I mean, to be fair,
boring gameplay to me.
in Odyssey, you aren't even an assassin.
Boring gameplay. Yeah, but if
So-
you hit someone with a
So you
fucking
can't like walk
sword,
up in like the 2,
and that's
just
why
be
I
like,
stopped playing the
and
Division.
walk away.
That's why I stopped
Yeah,
playing
you-
the
you
Division
can do that
because
with
it
some
was
dudes,
just
but-
emptying
Because you're not a team player, Cameron.
magazines of ammo into characters that
people's
don't
faces.
die. That don't die. It's just like this is
I
not.
think
No,
Not
you're
a
right,
game.
and that's what
It's no
Division
longer
2
fun.
suffers from as
Yeah,
well. Because
and that's why I never
they're
bought Division 2
all
because it's not
fucking
different enough from the
sponges.
first
Yeah.
one.
I let Jacob talk me into it like a dumbass.
Make it hard to
Shut
get
up, you're on
these.
the couch.
Make it hard to get these.
Yeah, he just fucking went for it. Just a big old puddle on your couch and floor, and now Schweiss is dying inside.
Make it hard to get the kills off, but don't make it impossible.
Agreed.
So, like when they're a sponge, it's a problem.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
where.
just let that smell simmer. Just a little.
Yeah.
So anyway, graphics and design. I think I give it an 8.
Yeah.
The fucking buggy ass eyes are both the what I'm taking 2 points off for. I know that's just her face, but god damn it, it's too much.
You're an ass.
Oof. The smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, guys, hurry
I
up.
don't imagine your smells.
I kind of wish there was also more
But we should
particle
drink.
effects like around the lightsabers and stuff.
I'll give it an 8 too. I think it is pretty good. I think it does suffer from some graphical glitches, some awkward face movements, and
A lot of them seem like the stiff when they added fucking what is it when they added the two like Peter Cushioning to Rogue One, where it's like they
No.
look very like, you
Oh,
can tell
yeah,
who they
yeah,
are,
yeah.
but it's very stone.
You can tell it's not right.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
I give it an 8 as well for everything I said with the design, the planets being different.
All right. Sound and music.
Did it sound like Star Wars?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the
And
music.
the blaster sounds, lightsaber sounds,
Oh, the TIE Fighter sound.
Did it music like
TIE
Star
fighter
Wars?
sounds.
I think the music sounded very Star Wars as well. They did a good job,
Yeah, it was all right. And then, of course, they played Darth Vader's thing when he fucking came
and they
on.
played the throat singing for he's listening to his he's listening to his iPod in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, the
fucking
metal
iPod.
band. Yeah.
it's
Yeah, he's
like
listening to
metal-
The Who.
It's like basically the Who, but it's like aliens. It's
It
badass.
is
It's
The Who.
pretty. Is it really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Stupid.
It's rad.
God.
I found that out. I was like, what?
That's badass.
But yeah, it's
I
The
didn't know
Who.
that.
I don't know. I like the sound. The music seemed okay. It seemed like, not quite John Williams, but John Williams-esque, like all Star Wars is, The voice acting I thought was very good. No real problems with the voice acting. Everyone did a great job.
The only thing that bugged me is every time BD-8 would jump into a thing, he's like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "He's done this the last 60
Yeah,
times."
it's like I found
you know
100
exactly what he's fucking doing, Cal. He's looking for shit.
Yeah, I
He's
found
a little klepto. We
Fun.
know what he's doing.
100 chests now.
Oh, buddy, what is this?
It did get, yeah, that's true. It
In
did
my
get
size.
repetitive.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect size.
It's in my size.
Oh, spray
Again.
paint for the ship. Fucking badass.
Grande every time.
Grande.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not really much else to say. I like the designs of the levels. I think they were very unique.
Actually, I played with my headset on the whole time, which I've started doing more for single player games, and Malikos's voice in the headset was great. Mm-hmm. It was so good.
Yeah, that's how you should play anything single player. Is
Well,
through
that's what I've
headset.
been doing recently.
Perfect. Yeah, like Resi 2 and Resi 7.
3,
Hellblade.
100%.
Yeah.
I still haven't played Hellblade and I need to.
You need to play that with headset.
It's perfect. Yeah. I don't know. I think sound and music. I'm probably going to give a 9.
Yeah, I think I'd go with that
Agreed.
score as well.
I don't think there's really much wrong with it. I think I wish there were a little more unique tracks to it. That's the only thing I would probably down it for.
Yeah.
But everything sounds pretty good. All the performances are great.
The
And-
callback music too was great.
Yeah, like the big
Vader's
moments,
theme.
like Vader's theme, and then like the Tatooine
It can be
theme
used
and-
too much, though. Callback stuff.
No, but I mean, when it's Vader, you have to have Vader's theme. You have to have this
It
Imperial
was
march.
mostly new stuff.
It was, but yeah.
All right, as long as it's used in a good way, you don't overuse it, and it really loses its power.
It only happened when he showed up, so which he's not in there for very long.
Because I feel like the Hope theme, the Force theme that that we had in the Tatooine scene in the first Star Wars, they overused that theme. It's like anytime Luke's theme,
the
anytime
theme.
the Force stuff happened in the new movie, they would just play the theme, just overused it. It was just, I don't know. They didn't do enough, to make new music in the new movie, but yeah.
No, I agree. This last one for Star Wars for 9, it was all callback. Every single.
Yeah.
Every single.
I still need to watch it. I kind of don't want to though.
Yeah.
I
really
have
hated
no
8.
desire to.
I had fun.
I haven't seen the
It was
new
fun.
Star
I
Wars.
just sat
I
there
was
and took
talking
it for
about
what
the
it
last Star
Jedi.
Wars, yeah.
I just took it for what
Yeah.
I just took it for what it was. I just sat there. And said, okay.
All right, so last category, the second gameplay category in a lot of ways, replayability. Will you play it again? Did you play it again? Is there a desire to play it again?
Kind of no. There's not really anything I want to replay the game for. The collectibles are shitty, so there's kind of no real reason for me to want to go back and do that. Exploration is pretty much just to find the collectibles. And then those like extra bosses, which I didn't fight, but they're just harder versions of the whatever's around. So I mean, yeah, there's kind of not really much there, and there's no outside of trophies. There's no new story elements. I don't think there's a new game plus, which there'd be no point for. And then because you unlock most of the abilities by the end of the game, like I had all but like 4 powers. Something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I'd give it replayability like a 4.
Damn. I'm gonna give it a 7. I like the idea of the Metroidvania. I like the idea of going back, knowing that I can go to a certain area again, going back there, finding the items that are there. The map makes it kind of annoying.
That's all current gameplay, though. That's like the first time through. It's not like there's anything new.
Yeah,
on replaying it or like I don't know. I view replayability as like a real pull to play it again. Like there's a reason to do it.
I think that's half
multiple
of it.
Storylines or like the gameplay is fucking like worth it. Like how you view Sekiro. Like if Sekiro didn't have multiple endings or things like that, like you'd still play Sekiro again just because of how much you love the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like that's a reason to play it again. But this is like so weak in nearly every regard.
That's
that
part of it. I think part of it is the desire to come back and finish out everything that there is. So I think I view it as kind of both. And maybe it's like sound and music where it's 5 and 5. And I would say 5 for the go back and find stuff and 2 for the play the game again. Because, like, it would be kind of fun, but honestly, there's almost no reason to play it again. Just keep continuing, because that's the way the game's set up for endgame.
Yeah.
So I see where you're coming from, but I think there's a lot to go back to, at least on the go back and explore new areas, if not, play the game again.
Brett.
What about you, Zach?
I'd give it a 6. I beat it on the hardest level. I mean, besides going back and refining everything and finishing it, actually platinum it. I mean, besides that. And I would actually agree with Craig on like the replayability thing, like having the pull to go back. So it's like, I mean, every year I go back and play Arkham City because I have the pull to do that every year because I love that fucking game.
Yeah, the game
and this one, like,
great.
it's fun,
I have the same
and
thing.
I absolutely had tons of fun with this game. But you know what I mean? Like, I know the story. There's no alternate endings. There's no. If it's a new game plus, I think I 100% would, because it'd be fun to have everything amped up in the very beginning and just be like. Just a dick.
Yeah, you just have all those powers, like, ha-ha!
Yeah, it would be fun. I think that'd be way fun, but they don't, and I think it suffers for that.
Yeah.
And they could go back and do it, what God of War did, and put a new game plus in.
I
mean, but again, very different games and very different reason why. But I mean, they could. It's an option they could.
It would just be like just having all the
What's
powers.
like Force Unleashed? It's like the Force Unleashed you played again.
Yeah, but I mean, like for this one, it can't really do that just because like all the powers are tied to exploration. So so you'd have all the upgraded abilities, but you wouldn't be able to get anything until you reach the certain.
No, but you say that, but the Arkham series is the same though. You can do New Game Plus, and it's like you still go to the areas to like build them and stuff, but you already have them, like the electric gun and stuff. Like in City, it's 100% the same thing because you go back and it's like, oh hey, now you have the electric gun.
I don't think I've ever played a New Game
Yeah,
Plus.
so
I think I've just like played it again.
I do it because I like to bust out the stupid Riddler bullshit at the beginning. Because you get everything like that. It's the exact same thing. And it's like, oh, you have it. It's like, oh, you get it, woohoo. But you already have it. And it's like, yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, I guess. It's not something I'd play ever really again. I think I'll probably finish up the trophies and then be done with it for good. But there's a lot of stuff I want to go back and do to collect it all, but that's really it. I don't want to play it again.
You're so close to the terrarium, you might as well.
Yeah. So, any last thoughts? I think the game is worth it. There are better games of this type out there for sure, both in the Star Wars action-adventure universe and in the Sekiro universe. Like almost every Souls game, I think is better. But there's stuff here if you like, if you like the Star Wars pull, if you like the parry system, it's kind of a fun little like reminder of how great of a game other games are. Even though it doesn't quite reach their same heights, it's still enjoyable.
I would say wait till it's on sale for like $20 because the game is very low mid-range. It's okay, but it's definitely not on par with other games that came out like in its current year or even now.
Yeah.
There are much better games to play that are in the same vein and style, and I mean, it's very limited because Disney wouldn't let them do certain things, and I do feel bad about that, but it just means that the game is mediocre. So I would say wait for a sale. Definitely not worth its current value.
Yeah, same with that as well. I mean, if you're a fan of Star Wars, you already had it.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, like I bought it when it came out because I'm a fan
Same.
of Star Wars. Like it's what it is. But yeah, you can wait. It's fun. It's a fun game. But I mean, maybe if you wait too, the patches, there'll be more patches for like the glitches. and
Yeah,
shit.
so
Like,
the
you know,
glitches won't be there. Yeah, that's another reason to wait.
Like
Yeah.
you know, like my fucking glitch that I got where I couldn't get trophies because I couldn't fight bounty hunters,
Nice.
and they fixed it. But
All right, so recap everything. Story. Craig gave it a 6. Zach and I gave it a 7. Gameplay. Craig gave it a 6. Zach and I gave it a 7. Graphics and design, 8s across the board. Sound and music, 9s across the board. Replayability, the biggest discrepancy. Craig a 4. I gave it a 7. Zach gave it a 6. 33 out of 50 for Craig. 38 out of 50 for me. 37 out of 50 for Zach. A Nude Client official score of 71 out of 100. If we add Zach into the mix, it averages a little higher at 72. And the Metacritic score, PS4 edition, 80 out of 100. So we lowballed this one as well. I think we lowballed the last review we had.
Yeah, we did. Outer Worlds we lowballed.
Yeah, it's good, but it's like there's other
It's not
stuff that's
that good.
Yeah,
It's
there's
good, but I've played better.
Exactly.
What? It won Best Game Design?
And Game of the Year
Hey, we got
and
close.
Best Adventure Game from
But what is
Titanium
Titanium
Awards.
Awards?
Video game festival that takes place in Spain. Bilbao, Spain.
Oh, I feel bad for Spain then.
Yeah, they need to play better games. You guys need Sekiro. Y'all need Sekiro. It's the new y'all need Jesus meme. Y'all need Sekiro.
Best of show, best console game, best action adventure
those
game.
are all pending though.
Well, they're nominated. What they were nominated for, which
I was looking at the 2020 the Navigator Awards.
oh, the pending ones. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's a good game, but there's other games that came out around the same time that are just better, or even like 10 months earlier.
Wait.
like Sekiro.
Outstanding achievement in character. What?
Adventure Game of the Year.
Like what? Design.
Grease.
I know it's for Grease, but for like, is it design or for making
But see,
the
it's the
character?
Dice
Like,
Awards,
what
so it's
is
them
it?
jacking themselves off.
Yeah, it's them. Yeah,
Yeah, it's them being like,
No,
you
the
know
Dice-
what? Grace
the-
looks really good.
The
And they're
Dice
like,
Awards
yeah,
is slightly
what it is.
but
yeah. All right, so yeah, that's it for our review of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. I guess we'll see you guys again next time. You can follow the show at Nude Klein Podcast. You can follow each of us on Twitter. I am at UFF Podcast.
at Obsidian Ba.
Me and Nude Clan Cam.
Me at B Grixis.
And you can support our show, patreon.com/Nude Clan Podcast. You can give us some dough there. You can enter. Each dollar you give us through Patreon gives you an entry into the monthly drawing where you can win select games from the titles that we've reviewed. How fucking sweet is that? Star Wars is now on the board. So if you want a copy of that, go over there, give us some fucking money, and we'll put you in the drawing to give you a copy of Star Wars, possibly.
Yeah.
We
You can
still
also
have-
go to our actual website of audibletrial.com.
That's right.
/nude
The true website. Try out Audible. It's a great service. A lot of good books on there. You can support us directly through PayPal on our website, nudecline.net. Check out our other shows, Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast, Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast, the Godzilla podcast, For a Few Chickens More, a Song of Schweiss and Johnson. That's almost over. We have one more finale episode, and that podcast is done.
You just got to finish up your season 8.
Yeah, we're going to rewatch season 8 and then just recap the whole series.
Nice.
Lots of great shows on the network. You got Getting Fat, that's a super fun one. Super Sexy Swinging Fan Fiction, dead shows, but lots of content to enjoy. Check that out at geekdomentertainment.com and anywhere you get your podcasts. I think that's it for this time, guys. We will see you again next week.
Enjoy the nude.
Live always in the nude.
Good.
Live
Those
always.
days, fuck boys.
Wait, what? What? One more time? Fuck boys.
Yeah.
Oh, live always in the nude. Nude.
No!